Yo, what's up, everybody? It's Jez7780. What grinds my gears on another day? Double header, double banger. We got a double banger today. Double banger. Big day, big day. Yo, Space Balls. What's up, Buck Rogers? How you doing, Socrates? Sam Ash, how you guys doing? Woo, what the hell? I got pop-ups coming up over there. Damn, that's some crazy crap. Yo, so today, what's up, J-Cat? How's everything going? We're gonna get the grinders building here. Here, guys, hit that like button. Share the video out. Let's build up. Let's get to quadruple A status. Maybe double banger. I don't know. We'll see. It's a busy night. It's a busy night. Oh, there's gonna be some finesse. Yesterday was the night show. This is the reality show. All right, so that's what we're gonna go. There's been things that I've been thinking about, things I've been seeing. Got me a little heated. Talk about some pre-orders, how that stuff went. Hashtag fearmonger, I was told. And some, things, just some speculation and just kind of adding on to yesterday's conversation. Certain things. What's up, Sam Ash? Sam Ash says, you all know the gaming YouTube channel Game Ranks. They literally said Sony does have any exclusive titles that are better than Doom with Halo, the 1-2 punch that Sony can't compete with. Yeah, just don't get up Fallout 76 status, says Buck Roger. Yeah, I'll tell you that. Well, those are the things we're going to talk about. Definitely this Bethesda deal has time to settle in and talk about more about it. There's some follow-up articles I'm going to go over and give just certain things because, the title of this thing kind of covers the topics that I want to discuss. And there's definitely some things that for me might be kind of disturbing. And yes, Virgil, we'll ask the question, does exclusives matter? Well, if you come here, exclusives matter. So, kumbaya my ass, and exclusives do matter. So, Sam Ash has to take a break. Oh, goddamn. It has hit extreme levels. Well, with that, guys, let's start. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, put the kids to bed. We're going to start with what grinds my gears. Oh, yeah, on repeat. So, let me get to my thing here. Here we go. Oh, there we go. So, to start with the main thing, and actually, I try to get a Frogs in here. I know a Frogs definitely has some gears to grind with his pre-orders. I've been trying to get him in here. I've been chatting with him and stuff like that. So, I'm seeing... I'm saying, hey, if he wants to get in here, because he definitely has some gears to grind with this whole pre-order stuff for Frog's Dream, and he's been it's been rough out there. It's been rough out there with the PlayStation 5 pre-orders and then the Xbox Series, the series or series, whatever we call them, the pre-orders today. It's pretty funny calling the pot, the kettle calling the pot black or along those lines. It's up to Floyd. How you doing?
Whatever your name is, get ready for the big surprise.
So, as you know, the booster went on sale today for pre-orders.
You know what? Nobody likes you, Booster.
So, pre-orders were around today, to say the least. They started at 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, with basically all the websites going live, people going up to GameStops, line up, people 4 a.m. in the morning, last night, and on the doors of GameStops, let's see if I could get the image up here. We're going to go right into the pre-orders, because that was today. We'll talk about the pre-orders and then get into the nitty-gritty of of this. Let's see if I have some images here of what GameStop's had on there, because, you know, going to GameStop, lining up outside, things like that. That's what you know, that's what people were doing. And yeah. So like this is what they had going on here. Let me see if this works. There we go. So this is what they had going on in front of their GameStops. And these numbers were kind of around the board as low, and I have some other tweets about it too. But like, yeah, they had 3 Series X's and 2 Series S's. Remember they were calling the digital unicorn? Hey, Paris. Oh, that digital is going to be a unicorn because they really want people to buy the high-end version. Oh, yeah, well, I hadn't seen the unicorn overtake the physical version at all. So, yeah, I guess the digitals will be the unicorns for both parties. We will see. Yo, what's up, Game Night? So, let me see if I can find the one that had a couple of these. So, people were lining up. You know, here's another one. Here are a couple of them here. Yeah, like this one had 8 and 2. And this one, I don't know if this is, you know, 1 and 2. So I guess they did have more of the unicorns. Yeah, and that was the thing. Like I haven't seen more than 10 consoles. There was probably some that maybe had 12. What's interesting is that when I went to GameStop last week and went in for the PlayStation 5, they had 12 at the main store. They had 12 PlayStation 5s. I don't know what the breakdown was. I think it was like 10 and 2, or I don't know what the breakdown was, but they just said that they had 12. And then the other GameStop that was about like, you know, a few blocks down had 8. Then the one in the mall, I think they do a lot of traffic, so they, I think, had 10. So I had a 12, 8, and a 10, and they're all within like a 4-mile vicinity of each other of PlayStations. I didn't get to see this because I wasn't going out early. But the quantity of these, considering that Xbox gave everybody about 2 weeks, they hyped it up last week. They kind of criticized Sony for, you know, not being prepared. Yeah. Shout out to B-Rap. He has his show on tomorrow. You know, here's what he was saying. He says his local GameStop, they have 6 total. 4 X's and 2 S's, and 1 person waiting. See? 4 and 2. So, like, the counts were very, very, very low, considering that that they actually kind of had some preparation, right? And they kind of said, well, we're going to tell you the time and date and all this other stuff. And really, I was very surprised on how low the stocks were of those consoles. And then to be like, oh, we sold out amazingly. Like, and then from what I saw from some of the videos, some people went in there and some of those numbers weren't even correct. And actually there was 0 pre-orders, and then people went online. And very interesting that those quantities were so low, considering, you know, they weren't going to be like Sony. They were going to be like that. Buck Rogers said, Phil is smart and knew if the names were almost the same, he could finesse them to buy an older model. Oh, yeah, about that. So, apparently, here we go. Shout out to this dude. Apparently, fear-mongering, right? Oh, they're going to get confused with Series S's and X's. Well, yeah, so look at this guy. Talk about fails. Yo, new Xbox secured. If you ain't secured your pre-order for the new consoles, you down bad and your pocket's empty. Go to work some OT or sell plasma with your broke ass. Yeah. Dude. You bought the wrong console, man. And you paid $300 for that trash. Yeah.
We got plenty of Turbo Man's faithful saber-tooth tiger booster.
Secure your pre-order, bitches. Oh. Phil Ness. Yeah. Well, that's not all. they have been running wild today because here you go. We also, another Xbox disaster. Here, well, let's just, you know what? I'll just keep this up because Phil Ness has been running wild. And the reason why I point this out on today's thing is because I said that this is confusing. And they're like, fearmonger, Gears, grinding. Oh, why is that boy? Everybody's smart. Oh, the moms and dads. Nobody. Yeah, okay. This is Xbox Store. Xbox One consoles. Even Xbox can't even get this shit right. It's supposed to be Xbox consoles. They got Xbox One consoles in there. And they got a picture of the Series X. Meanwhile, it says Xbox One consoles. This is the Xbox Store. Phil Nesson himself. God damn. Hate to see it. Get rid of this Razer boot up bullshit here. Back. Yeah. All right. We're there. Okay. Let's keep going. Look at this. The Verge. Tom Warren, who writes for The Verge, said, nobody's going to be having problems with these names. Nobody's going to be having problems with these names. Well, I beg to differ. He didn't write this one. His buddy wrote it. Sales for the Xbox One X went up 747% on Amazon today. I'm making this shit up. Yeah. Microsoft's in a weird spot with these names. They're confusing the hell out of the market. Yo, what's up, Tunda? How you doing? Thank you. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you, Buck Roger. Yes. Share, hit that like button, guys. Let's get the grinders in here. We're going in today. We're going ham. Because I was called fearmonger. Why? It's not a big deal. Okay. It's not a big deal. It's just 700 foot. A lot of returns here. And know what's interesting? Oh, wait a second. Know what's interesting is that... Where'd it go? Yeah, what's interesting is that I think they have it... Oh, they don't have the price was like $450 for this thing. And damn. See? Even Microsoft, and Tom Warren actually tweeted this out. Microsoft Destiny Beyond Souls will be available pre-order and will be coming to Xbox One Series X. Oh my goodness. Where is it?
Oh, you.
Yeah. Here it is. They're naming conventions. But sales are up 747%. The things are that the prices of these things, I think, kind of echoed because the guy saw an S for $299 and bought it. Thinking like, oh, here it is. But no, it was the Series S, not the 1S. Yeah.
Never underestimate the power of the Schwartz.
That power of that Phil Ness, man. But anyway, so a lot of fails with the whole thing. You know, wonder how many people bought Xbox One X instead of a Series X, paying $450. The prices were similar. Yeah. Okay. But it's not a big deal, right? Yeah. It's the people are not going to, the grandmas are going to be confused. No, that first one is a dude telling people that he's so excited to get the Xbox, he bought the wrong ass one. All right. It's ridiculous. I dealt in sales. I know that this confuses people. All right. It's a mess. So, there's stupid names. There's similar names. They're both on the market. Yeah. And then on top of that, with the pre-order stuff, you know how much heat Sony got. Oh, see, Sony got so much heat because of, you know, the retailers failed and pre-orders of the PlayStation 5 went earlier. Well, the problem is that Microsoft set up the point, exact time and date, and the bots were ready. Online was a mess. So give you my experience. GameStop had a queue to get into their website. I logged in about 10 minutes early, was in the queue. I get to GameStop's website. I can't pre-order anything. I can't even look for a console. I'm like, what the hell's going on? So basically, I then go to Best Buy. Best Buy never has pre-orders up. They just have pre-orders are down, coming soon. Target, same thing. Had them, you couldn't add them to your cart. You hit the button, add it to your cart. GameStop crashes. The Xbox website, I got this. Crash. We're sorry, you keep requesting it. Couldn't add to Walmart, you could keep adding it to your cart, but it wouldn't process it. And Herb hyping it up, you know, all that other crap. Pre-order, the website. The same thing happened to me. And then Amazon have all the dogs. Then I saw on Twitter somebody said, hey, Amazon has them up. I went into Twitter. I went into Amazon, went there, saw it, added the Series X, pre-ordered it, boom. Now, Amazon, I don't consider Amazon a legit pre-order. So I'm like, you know, same thing with the PlayStation. So I got a PlayStation PlayStation Digital, a PlayStation disc, two of them. One at Target and one, yo, what's up, buddy Cactus? One at Target and one at Amazon. I already got the email from Amazon saying you might not get it on the release date. I know that already. That happened on my Xbox One. I got it the next day. I didn't get it that day. I got it the next day from Amazon. So maybe Amazon gives it the next day. I still want to secure a PlayStation 5. I don't trust either one of them. I want to try to get Best Buy for PlayStation 5, so I'm going to keep trying for that one. Amazon, I got the Series X locked down. Just in case Microsoft decides to announce any crazy things like, any crazy stuff that maybe makes that console worth getting. Like I have a gaming PC, and there's really no games that, I don't know what the urgency is to get a Series X right now, actually. I just wanted to have it just in case something crazy happens and I want to pick it up. So, or if I have somebody that may still really wants it and I could still hold on to them for them, like Frogs or somebody else, I'll get it if they really want it. And, so I just locked it down just in case. I didn't even think it was going to work. Like, you don't know until the end when you hit order. It's like confirmed. I'm like, oh, okay. Oh, wow. I didn't even realize I was going to get it. I just kept hitting buttons to see. And I got in. And then by the time I went back to Amazon right after that, done. So it was a fiasco, just like PlayStation. And I think Microsoft was a little bad taste to kind of take jabs at Sony, thinking that they had some superior methodology that they were going to not have the same issues that Sony had. The difference with Sony is that Sony never gave a time and date. It just happened. And people just started calling up GameStop, going to this thing. Didn't really even know that it was on sale. So, like, the pre-orders didn't go live until the next day, but people like Walmart jumped the gun. Here, everybody had a self-start, all the websites. The problem is everybody was ready to go, so as soon as those websites hit 11 o'clock, they all crashed. And that was a coordinated crash. Like, everything just crashed. All the websites, everything, things were sold out. Website wasn't working, wasn't loading. People just kept clicking on it. The Microsoft Store, if you kept clicking on this thing, it might have worked. Then even the other one where they had to do a finance check, I saw Paul Thurrott try doing that with the All Access, and it said, like, not available through All Access. So it really was So, okay, Sam Ash says, so checking Amazon, I see unavailable Series X, but no Series S on there. Wow. Yeah, everybody's been still... the bots stopped the bots. Yes, Sam Ash, pretty much. The bots did stop the bots. The bots were all lined up. But they did have... Like, it crashed all the websites. Like, it couldn't believe it. 11 o'clock, everything got hit. Best Buy didn't even go live. They apparently went live, like, later in the day for a little short window. But again, the allocations were so small. And similar to the PlayStation, like, there were more... I think the Sony, and I've seen online people saying that the PlayStation had more allocations at stores than The Xbox did, and that could be due to the demand of the system. People want the system, obviously. And, if you don't believe me, just look at the trade-in values of what a PlayStation has been versus an Xbox. GameStop is a perfect indicator of the desire and demand of a product. If your product is in demand, your trade-in value will be higher. Look at Nintendo Switch games. The PlayStation Pro would trade in about $25 more than an Xbox One X, Series X. Here we go. The Xbox One X. Even though the Xbox One X was $100 more than the PlayStation 4 Pro, the PlayStation 4 Pro traded in for more money than the Xbox One X. It's crazy. Or equal. They were equal, or PlayStation was more, about $25, $15, $25 more. $15 to $25 more. And the other one was $100 more, because the demand for PlayStation was higher. So that's why we probably see the lower allocations of the Series X and Series S's compared to PlayStation. However, I'm really surprised that those Series X's and S's were so low. The way it seemed like Microsoft was prepared for this, and obviously, I guess they were not, or they just have these low allocations, which goes back to my video about a couple of videos ago, where I was speaking about how something happened between Sony's event in June and their event in August, because they were speaking about generations, and then they were speaking about cross-generation PlayStation 4 games in some like Spider-Man and Horizon Zero Dawn, and I said something happened. One, Halo got delayed, and second, I think these these products are gonna be hard to get. I don't think they're making them in at the speed that they are ready to launch, like a full-blown launch. Like, I think instead of being a full-blown launch, I think this is going to be definitely shifted to satisfy some people during the holidays, or maybe save some of the pre-order stuff and make it more into the holidays in December and January and February, like kind of trickle them out that time when there's not so much. Because think about it, they waited so long. Like, we got pre-order announcements this month. We're a month and a half out. Like, if people said, okay, well, I want 100,000 PlayStation 5s here in November, you think Sony could churn around that thing right now? No. They probably have 100,000. They're probably going to trickle it out as like 15. Also, too, they got to maintain the traffic at these stores. They can't just say open up for pre-orders and these stores have lines of people. Like, GameStop was only allowing 10 people in. So basically, they didn't, social distancing and all that other stuff. So it's a mess. But something changed. And maybe Sony was like, hey, Spider-Man will be great on just PlayStation, get you by a PlayStation. But you know what? Maybe we'll port it over to PlayStation 4 because I don't think we'll be able to satisfy all the people that might want to upgrade. And I think that's what changed. Same thing with Horizon. Like, I think that something changed because they did say generations and then they said upgrade when you want, making it look like that there's something with these allocations. These allocations are low. And that was just my speculation on the whole thing because it changed. I don't think that was the plan. Like, I know people call him Lion Jim Ryan, and yes, and I agree. Game night, like, Sony was gonna, and I said this before, Sony was gonna do some cross-generation games. Like, obviously, there was gonna be some cross-gen. There were gonna be some next-gen exclusives like Ratchet and Clank, and there were probably gonna be some even games they might even launch in a service. I thought like maybe a SOCOM game or online game being cross-gen. Like, they weren't just dismissing cross-gen, but their discussion of being generational in June, and then just saying PlayStation, the Spider-Man game being like, PlayStation 4, it could be due to allocations. I don't know. It just seemed kind of strange that these allocations are so low. Like, these don't look like anything. Yeah, I don't know. It's just speculation because there's definitely something going on here because these allocations are very low. This was not the Xbox One, PlayStation 4 era at all. These stores should be getting about 25 consoles in each. High stores maybe getting 35 or something like that. They should not be getting 8, 9, 4, 8, 10, 12. Like, for your initial pre-orders, exactly, Buck Rogers. I want to see PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Spider-Man side by side. And I do think it's going to be night and day difference. I think that, I think the PlayStation 4 is going to be a port of the PlayStation 5. That's right, Glorious Kev. Hey, what's up? Xbox One. Yes, Xbox One. Yes, in the hearts and minds of everybody. But yeah, so like these allocations are really low. People still getting confused with the Xbox naming brands and stuff like that. Yeah, sales were record breaking, I'm sure. I think record breaking is more of maybe the time to sell, but they had very low allocations. I just showed them earlier, like there's 4 and 5, like they had really low ones, and these things sold out in not even 5 minutes. Like this thing was, you click on a button and the website gets stuck and it's sold out. Like it was crazy. Like it wouldn't even try. So I don't know. These allocations are really low. GameStop, I don't, you would think that they're in dire need. They would want as much as they're possible, but yeah, even the PlayStation ones were low with it. That's right, Socrates. Xbox One, not one. But anyway, so that goes into my the other topic. So for everybody that didn't get any of their pre-orders on there, let me see if Frog and respond. No, he didn't. Thanks, Juan. Yeah, Frog's not coming. So this is the thing. So going back into, whoa, what's this? Oh, there's a new rumor going around. You know what? These rumors. So this is the other rumor going around here. Where is it? Do I have my display capture here? Saying that Metal Gear Solid is getting a full remake and it's a PlayStation 5 console exclusive. We will see. Anyway, hot off the presses, some rumor going down. More rumors. Yeah, it's the Metal Gear Solid. Yeah, Tuda, yep. On it's that exclusive talk with that. Exclusives matter. That would be big. I'm not a huge Metal Gear Solid. Oh, wait. Oh, Rogue Company. That's right. Frog said in the tweet, he goes, a lot of people. I'm just going to let them know I am live if they want to jump on. Hold on, I'm just letting them know. I was asking the Ultra preset. Yeah, I know. Phil took a dump at Sega. Yeah, we're going to get into that now. So, going to get into this. So, basically, here we go into this whole Bethesda thing. Oh, they just revived the SOCOM, Silent Hill. You know what? They got to stop. They got to stop. These Sony rumors are getting out of control. You know what? The thing is that, and I said this last week when Sony had their show. Like, Sony's show was good, right? I thought it was excellent. It was effective. But, besides Final Fantasy 16, they really didn't show anything more. They kind of they showed us Spider-Man. They showed us more of what they kind of showed in the previous month. They didn't show us like a whole bunch of new stuff. I guess God of War. It was big, but it wasn't a lot of like newer content, like a double show. It was really just kind of a reflection of what they already showed in June. It wasn't like this, like here's a tail end tease of God of War, and also we got Final Fantasy 16 exclusive. Then they showed Project 8. They have a lot. But there was nothing new. It was just kind of like some gameplay of Spider-Man, and it was effective. But all these other games that people are talking about, we didn't get the gutted PlayStation 5 teardown. We didn't see the dashboard yet. This thing's a whole disaster, man. It is a mess. I think they're both coming in. I think Sony is coming in. I think Sony's having production issues. I think Xbox is probably having production issues as well. I think where Xbox could benefit from this is that they are really a cross-generational product. Like, power-wise, they're next generation, but like experience-wise with the dashboard that's out there already. I saw the new video with the share button. It basically is you press it takes a screenshot. You long press it takes a video clip. Welcome to next gen, I guess.
Thank you for pressing the self-destruct button. This ship will self-destruct in 3 minutes.
Take it back!
Like, that's their big share button, big feature. Yeah. No update on, like, any video editing capabilities, nothing. Just the same share button. You hit it, it goes up, and you hold it, it does a video clip. And that's their big share button that's on their next-gen controller. Welcome to 2013. God damn it. But, yeah, that's their big thing. So, you know, they just saw, like, just riding the wave, really. Sony's the one that has to show the generational leap. It has a sleek-looking console, you know, really crazy-looking device. The controller is beyond comprehension of how that thing feels, and the microphone in it, the remote, the content button, you know, that's going to look like. What's their dashboard going to look like? How they're supposedly features of like, you know, downloading games or playing games while they're downloading. I don't know. There's a whole bunch of crazy stuff that people are talking about. So I really would like to see some of that. You know, what's going on, like the features of the console, the software features. Microsoft usually dominates with that stuff, but a lot of their stuff is just carryover from the Xbox. So, you know, I don't know how. I'm not, you know, last gen it was crazy because Xbox had all these crazy ass things, which was interesting to me. I liked it. But, you know, now we see the games to Sony. I know the games. I got the console. Now let's see what come on. Let's see some of the features, software, some of the crazy things that could be done with it. So, with that, I wanted to get into the whole, you know, so anyway, good luck with your pre-orders. I still think they're going to be releasing them in waves, so save those websites, the Targets, the Walmarts, the Best Buys, the GameStops. I don't know about GameStop, but I definitely think the big box retailers are going to get more allocations. Xbox Store will get more. Amazon, I'm sure, will get more. They'll get them in waves. So keep your finger ready on the Twitter. Keep your finger ready on those websites. And, you know, you should hopefully, you know, get the pre-orders. I think there'll be more coming as we go further. Like, I don't think if you didn't get them today, you have to wait now to November. I don't think so. But again, Next week's October, guys. Next week's freaking October. Shout out to over 30 people watching. Hit that like button. Share this video out. Let's get to quadruple A. I know it's a grind. I know everybody's streaming tonight and there's a lot of stuff going on. So I appreciate you guys stopping by and checking out the Grinds My Gears. And we're going to get into the in-depth stuff. The exclusive kind of brainstorming that I do. And something that is definitely a little eerie. That I wanted to talk about because again, these things, you know, we're gonna talk about it right now. So, with that, hit that like button, share it out, and we're gonna go and we're gonna talk business.
Who is your daddy?
Business.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions.
Arnold's ready.
I want to have them answered immediately.
So, yesterday, Phil Ness and Satya Nadella rolled into Bethesda and told them this.
I've got news for you. You're mine now. You belong to me.
Todd Howard shaking in his boots. It's like, excuse me, what did you say? Phil comes walking in again. He goes, Satya, tell him again.
I've got news for you. You're mine now. You belong to me.
Todd Howard picks up his cookie with his coffee. Phil goes,
Put that cookie down now.
and Todd goes, what do you mean?
Now, whatever your name is, get ready for the big surprise.
I'm not authorized to answer your question.
And then I can't hear. So yeah. So Bethesda, I love this clip.
For you. You're mine now. You belong to me.
Todd Howard walks in.
This stuff will make you a goddamn sexual tyrannosaurus. Just like me.
Yeah, strap this on your sore-ass plane.
Then Phil walks into Bethesda. He says, you belong to me. Satya is standing behind Phil. Checkbook wide open. Satya looks at Phil. Goes like this.
Come on. Do it. Do it. Come on. Come on. Kill me. I'm here. kill me!
Sign that check, baby. Phil signs it for $5 billion. Damn.
You son of a bitch.
Yep. So they bought Bethesda, ZeniMax, all those guys we talked about yesterday with all the IP, and then came out some articles. Right. One big one was from Jeff Grubb that came out today. And another one was from CNET. And the CNET one kind of got me a little... Phil OnlyFans now, Day&Date. That's what I'm talking about. So first, let's talk about the Bethesda purchase again. Just to tail off of yesterday's podcast, right? So, as I mentioned before, Bethesda in the second half of this generation was kind of not doing too hot. You know, and just the truth. And you know, Jeff Grubb, right off of Venture Beat, says right here. I mean, the alternative was that Bethesda was probably going to start shutting down these studios and laying off people. Prey underperformed. Dishonored 2 underperformed. Wolfenstein 2 underperformed. Fallout 76 flopped. Doom Eternal, which I really like that game, underperformed. Bethesda Games Launcher made no dent. Starfield, Stardust I called it, is years away. Elder Scrolls 6 is even further away. Bethesda's tech needs a total revamp, using that old-ass engine. But it wasn't all sunshines and rainbows for Bethesda in their highest. And I said this yesterday, Bethesda wasn't like how Insomniac was purchased at their highest point. Like, hey, they came off of Spider-Man and, you know, they bought them. Bethesda was, again, a struggling publisher trying to find a way. And where do all things that struggle and die go? To the graveyard of GamePass.
Take it back!
And Phil Ness got that sniff. He's like, I smelled some rotted publishers. Yo, what's up, Mind of Madak? Oh, thank you. Thank you, man. Thank you. I'll be up for your show. No problem. As I continue my Phil Spencer story. So Phil, almost like he had a whiplash. He's like, whoo. He's like, wait, what's that? I smell something. It smells like somebody not doing too good. Rotted. Downtrend. Perfect for Game Pass.
Who is your daddy?
And he goes over who your daddy is. So basically, just like I said yesterday, they weren't doing too hot. And Phil Ness swooped in and helped them. See, Kuchar the B-Rap. They've been using the same engine for like 20 years. They needed a whole do-over. Now, he was piggybacking off of his article. And this is his article right here. Xbox Bethesda's acquisition is evidence of Blockbuster Gaming's volatility. And actually, this mirrors what Jim Ness said in the other article, which I have here as well. So they acquired them for $7.5 billion. Again, they got all this IP. Yes, Buck Rogers, these passion projects. Ooh la la. So, guys, hit the share button, hit that like button. We're going in. So, it's a very good article, but I want to go off of the titles and what they're describing to give you an idea of where Bethesda was. Okay? And this is nothing against how that their games are not good. If you like their games, fine. I like their games. You know, I like their games. And I'm eager to see what the next game, like Deathloop and stuff like that, are going to be. But like I said yesterday, those were games that they needed Sony backing on. Sony grabbed Deathloop. Deathloop was showed, I think, like 2 years ago. Sony made it an exclusive to their thing. It shows that they had doubts and they want the exclusivity. They got some extra money because maybe it wasn't going to be a hit, or maybe they just wanted to make it on one platform first. Who knows? So making video games is difficult, a volatile business. Blockbuster budgets inflated over the last 10 years, well over $100 million in single top-tier releases. So they're one flop away from failure. If they make a huge big budget game and it doesn't hit, that's a lot of money lost. Live service games, they tried that route. And one thing that I really wanted to show you, Grind, is, do you remember Bethesda's Save Player 1 campaign? When everybody was talking about multiplayer games and service games, Bethesda came out that E3 and did hashtag Save Player 1, showing single-player only games to stew the narrative-driven gaming. And that was led by Dishonored, Dishonored 2 expansion, Evil Within 2, and Wolfenstein 2, the new Colossus. But none of those games were a huge financial success. They are all beloved by fans and received positive reviews. Here you go.
Every hour around the globe, neglected gamers feel lonely, shunned by their multiplayer counterparts. But here at Bethesda, we are working toward a solution. We make all sorts of games, but single-player experiences are a big part of our DNA. Hi, I'm Linda Carter. You may remember me from such performances as the lounge singer in Fallout 4, or this other project where I played a woman of wonder, a really wonderful woman, you know. Anyway, let's forget about that. Today, I'm here to talk to you about something serious. The need to save single-player gamers. Everyday gamers in search of a single-player experience are left behind. Forgotten, neglected. Many were rescued and found their way into amazing adventures, but others, well, they weren't as fortunate. For the price of just a few Nuka-Cola Quantums, you can share the fun of an epic single-player journey today. Together, we can end the pain for single-player gamers in need. Right? We work together.
Yep. So they tried everything. They tried, after Fallout 4, remember they had that big bang of Fallout 4, and then they tried. So, then they tried this whole war on multiplayer games. And it didn't really hit, right? So this is kind of the downward swing. So E3 2017, this was E3 2017, so yeah, 3 years ago, right? And guess who's doing those single-player games that are really banging, right? Yeah, Sony, right? Then they try to do a live service game with Fallout 76 to try to mirror what they were doing to Elder Scrolls, which they struggled with that as well. But Elder Scrolls does have a lot of content in it, the online. And Fallout 76, and we know Fallout 76 was like the breaking point. That was a disaster. You know. Oh, I will. I'll do that Save Player 1 video. No problem, buddy. I'll put it right on here, the grinds board. Right on the grinds board. And it's slowly building up their updates, improve the game. The game will perform better. Bethesda have delayed it. The publisher also tried its own store with the Bethesda launcher on PC, only to witness EA soften its position towards running EA Origin Store. It also saw companies like Ubisoft and EA try their own subscription services. Bethesda knows how expansive and challenging it would get those programs off the ground, and in the end, Steam and Xbox Game Pass are probably going to win in the end. The reality of the industry going forward is a massive shift where publishers probably aren't going to look like the company Bethesda grew into. That's left to stakeholders with an option. Try to figure out the painful process of transforming Bethesda into something new, or sell Bethesda to a company that needs it. And Microsoft can use Bethesda because Game Pass is already a de facto industry standard with 15 million subscribers. The deal ensures that people and teams make Bethesda have a chance to remain together. The alternative under ZeniMax Media was likely closures, layoffs, and fewer games. So yet again, another publisher company, just like, who was it? The Wasteland developer. I was going to retire, but I guess I'll stay around. Microsoft bought us. Again, not somebody in their prime. Have a great legacy. Great games, maybe some good ones coming up, some prospects moving forward. But at this time, they were struggling. And Microsoft swooped in and saved them. That's great. I'm glad they did, because I would hate Bethesda to just devolve into something. But if you want the people receiving an end of a $7.5 billion payday, take that money, a few years of gaming, tectonic plates, settle into place, and then you can start gaming. So, yes, Microsoft's acquisition, huge, buying them. And this is what he was saying about Bethesda and what Bethesda's value was and what they did. So, again, they got all this IP. And they got 2 games coming out that will have deals in place with PlayStation 5, Deathloop and Ghostwire Tokyo. So the 2 next big games from Bethesda are going to be PlayStation 5 exclusives. Okay. And now we come to the Microsoft side of it. The eerie side. The side that is a little bit where I'm not liking where this stuff might be going. So, why did they buy Bethesda? All those IP. They spent a lot of money. And there's a lot of debate as to what is Microsoft going to do with Bethesda. Are they going to make exclusive games? Are they going to do... What are they going to do with them? And Phil says it right here. Now, who knows if he's telling the truth? Who knows what they're saying anymore? But this is what we got to work with, right? Our plan is to leave it alone. ZeniMax has been an amazing track record of building great games. Our goal is to make ZeniMax the best ZeniMax it can be, working individually with their studios on the great platform technology, getting their creators feedback into things we need to go build. That's just a critical flywheel for us. There's that word, guys. You heard it here on Grinds My Gears. The flywheel. The flywheel. The content. Critical flywheel. We said it. They needed head-turning content for GamePass. They bought a publisher for it, right? They're already sticking to their commitments. Fine, because those deals are there. This is the eerie part of it. So then they talk to Satya, right? And this is where the eeriness comes in. He says this. And this is exactly what I said yesterday. Oh, this one I want to show you right here. What he said here. This is what he said here. You can't just wake up one day and say, let me build a game studio, Nadella said in an interview. The idea of having content is so we can reach larger communities. That's why Microsoft will consider buying even more video game companies in the future. That's why it continues to invest in its Xbox Game Pass subscription service. Content is just the incredible ingredient to our platform that we continue to invest in. And this doubled the size of our creative organization. So, and then I look and see here. This is what he confirmed, because people can worry about exclusives. Why would you pay $7.5 billion and not make it exclusive? Well, this is why, and this is what I said yesterday. Gamers will see noticeable difference with Bethesda, Spencer said in an interview Monday, noting that the company games will be offered on Microsoft's Game Pass subscription the same time they hit store shelves. They also will be available through Microsoft's xCloud video game streaming service, which allows people to play games over the internet similar to the way we stream games on Netflix. It's a huge investment in games that they're going to get to play. And he says here, we're going to keep them like a semi-independent company that brought them success in the first place. It is about the culture of those teams. They're not about becoming us. And we'll always look to grow inorganically where it makes sense, which means just buying games, right? Yeah, that's right, Buddy Cactus said that, yeah. So this is the thing. Matt Booty, exactly. Matt Booty's running too many, like there's too many studios, right? But this is the thing where it says, how does it affect us as gamers, right? So now that you saw what they said, this is the thing that affects us as gamers. And it's competition, and I like it. I like what they're gonna buy if they're gonna make exclusives, and Sony might buy, and everybody gets back, and the exclusives matter. We agree to that, I guess now. So all the people going kumbaya, more people to play your games. Anyway, you buy up studios to make that content exclusive. That's the first thing that people are running around with. But now Microsoft has 23 studios. Matt Booty, Bootylicious, got covered in these things, right? The battle here, and I said this, why would they buy them for this amount of money? Why would they buy Bethesda and shake it up like this? Bethesda, as we saw, needed to be bought. There were definitely some issues. But why did they buy them? Just so they could say Fallout 6 is only coming to an Xbox? No. Just because they could say Stardust, Starfield, is this going to be on Xbox? Come play our games right here? No. What is the one thing that he confirmed? He said that exclusives will be on case-by-case basis. What is the one thing that he confirmed? Gamers will see a noticeable difference with Bethesda, noting that the company's games will be offered on Microsoft's Game Pass subscription the same time they hit store shelves. Bingo. Bingo. They bought them to get games day and date. And this is, I said this yesterday because it was speculation that why would they buy them for this much money? The flywheel. Buck Rogers, yes, they need more games for Game Pass, but it's not even needing more games like an EA Play or anything like that. No, they need more games. They know the day and date is something that differentiates their service versus the competition, versus another service like PlayStation Now or what Amazon can offer. Their day and date games is what differentiates that service. That's what drives subscribers, because they know that people are not going to subscribe to play old ass games. You got to have some new stuff in there. And the unfortunate thing is that their first party that they developed over the last 2 years is not moving the needle as fast as they would. And it's not about growth. It's about speed and growth. Hence why Mixer shut down. It wasn't evolving fast enough. You can't say that Mixer wasn't growing. Mixer was all right. It didn't do big numbers, but it was still there. It just wasn't enough for them. So they bought Ninja and Shroud. Wait a second. A service wasn't growing fast enough for them, and they went out and spent a lot of money to buy Ninja and Shroud. Wait a second. Yeah. We're not growing fast enough. We need more games day and date. Let's go buy a publisher because they will put them. And he says, you will see a noticeable difference with Bethesda. Why? Bethesda wasn't putting their games in their day and date. And let's explore that, right? Jim Ness. We're not going down the road of putting new release titles into a subscription model. He said since many of the PlayStation top tier costs is $100 million to develop, putting them behind a subscription model will simply be not sustainable. We want to expand and grow our ecosystem. Putting new games into a subscription model doesn't sit with that. Cyberpunk has no plans for Xbox Game Pass. CD Projekt Red says we have no plans to support the subscription service. No plans for Cyberpunk, they said. It came to response of a tweet that possibility of Microsoft paying third-party devs a fee to launch their games into Game Pass to promote the subscription service. It was unsubstantiated, but they came out and said no deal.
No deal.
The battle is for day and date. That's the true war of Game Pass. The flywheel. I said before, they use their content. They want to inject content into Game Pass so that third party will be willing to launch their games in the service. Why do they keep dropping 10 million, 15 million subscribers? That's what they're saying, because it makes it look like it's growing and it's more appealing. Are those sustained subscribers? Are those people using free things? Are those people that just stacked up Game Pass for 2 years? Are those people that just signed up? Because in the last 3 months or 4 months, I don't know what was in Game Pass that made 5 million people sign up. Like, I don't know. Maybe because they took away the $60 1 year of Xbox. But what's scary is that in order to get third party to launch Day&Date in Game Pass, it seems as that they'll just buy the sons of bitches so that they can control the distribution to launch them in Game Pass. Because that's the one thing that Phil is like, you will see something different. They will launch their games in Game Pass. So every Bethesda game now is a Game Pass launch title. And I bet you, just like I said yesterday, they'll release it for everything. It'll just be $60, $70 on other platforms, and it'll be in Game Pass. That will leverage Game Pass. And they're hoping they'll just grow their subscribers by having these games fall out in Game Pass day one. They needed these games in day one. However, I think if third party was just doing this naturally, they would have not have to buy these people. But I think the issue is with Bethesda. I think Bethesda is a knee-jerk reaction. And I'll say it here. I think it's equivalent to their Ninja. Like, I really think Obsidian, those other studios that they bought, Ninja Theory, I think those are legit. They really want to organically grow their content. Because Phil refers to this. This is an inorganic growth. This is just taking something, like I said, Bethesda off the shelf and putting them in their thing. Like I said, Bethesda was a great startup. Like, hey, they got service games, they got this, they got that. They're one package deal. Quanvo, I don't know. Will they invest $100 million into these games just to put them in Game Pass? I think so. And that's where the business aspect as a gamer concerns me, because, like, I don't think they bought Bethesda because they said we want to do a Doom Halo crossover. We want id Tech in our games. Like, I don't think they're thinking like that. That's how we think as fans, and we think as gamers. Like, oh, a merge waiting to happen. Have a Fallout New Vegas 2. No, I don't think they bought Bethesda for that. They bought Bethesda so that they could control the distribution of their games. You will see them different. They will be in the Game Pass subscription day one. It's because third party's not doing it, or third party's not doing it fast enough. Thanks, Robert Purves. I don't know. Like this, and what scares me is that if they're that aggressive with Game Pass and they got the money, is Microsoft going to corner the gaming market? Are they going to buy Sega tomorrow? Are they going to buy all these devs that are just not riding high and just kind of just keep them all on the Game Pass and just buy them all up? Now, granted, if they want to make exclusives and make great games for gamers, then fine. And if this is these studios going out of business or working for Microsoft, fine. But if they're just buying them just so that they could control their content in Game Pass, so they could launch Day&Date. That's not fun. That's not fine. That's scary for the gaming industry. And what Satya was like, we're just going to keep buying. We will always look to grow and buy more. And what's really scary about it is that this purchase of Bethesda, it's not immediate gratification. Their next 2 games are PlayStation exclusives. When are you going to see and reap the benefits of the $7.5 billion that you spent? Like, when are you going to reap those benefits? Right? It's not like, what's Bethesda's next big game? And Game Night says Sega's more of that. I know, toys, I know. Sega will be huge. That'll be like a Minecraft deal. And Quanvo's right. Will those games be service-based? I don't know. Would they? I don't know if they. I don't. And that's the other thing that I liked from the Bethesda deal was that Bethesda's not really. They did the war on single player games. Like, Bethesda makes big games. They don't make your typical Game Pass fodder, right? The game's maybe not as successful, but like Doom Eternal is not the Game Pass fodder, right? But like, you sit here and go, why would they buy these companies? Like, why do they want Doom exclusive? No, and Phil didn't come out and say like they're exclusive. He talked similar to like the Minecraft deal. Minecraft will be on everything. Minecraft's a service. Minecraft's on everything. But now they got a publisher, and they got all this IP, and they said they're just going to leave them alone, semi-independent. All right, we're going to leave you alone. You just do what you do. But when you come to us, we'll give you some money. But you know what? That game is going into a Game Pass. They can't walk and tap onto Cyberpunk and go, hey, we would like to put your game in Game Pass. Cyberpunk will be like, well, we plan on selling like the 4 million, so that's going to cost you a lot of money for one game. And they might not want growth that quickly. They want sustained growth. So they're going to look for multiple deals. Cyberpunk, we want all your games moving forward to launching Game Pass. It's not working. And remember, they shut down Mixer because it wasn't growing fast enough. Game Pass may not be growing fast enough for them. And he keeps saying the flywheel. That is something where you inject content and it naturally just grows like a snowball. So he wants to just throw so much content in Game Pass that all third-party devs have to turn their head and go, we're missing out by not having this game in Game Pass. Day one. That's the end game. That's what they want. They want people to naturally make it. And I've seen this before, and this is why it came to me, because it happened with Windows Phone. Devs were not making apps for Windows Phone. So what did they start doing? They started throwing their money around. They had to pay devs to make apps for Windows Phone because the ecosystem was dire. Our rule says, Jez, Phil must have put something in the gabagool, in the deli platter at Sony headquarters and gave Jim Ryan some of that Phil Ness. Oh, yeah, Jim Ness. He got a little bit. But you want to know what? Jim might say we believe in generations, and people said he lied. But, okay, Spider-Man and Horizon. Well, as of right now, Ratchet & Clank is a generational game. Gran Turismo is a generational game. God of War. We don't know about God of War. But we know Ratchet. We know Godfall. Those are generational games. Those are next-gen exclusives. But I really just want to say Ratchet & Clank. That is a PlayStation 5 next-gen exclusive game. Only done with PlayStation. And as long as they got one versus Microsoft's 0, there is a generational game for a next-gen system. Nonetheless, even if you don't want to look at the games, just look at the controller. Look at the experience with the controller. There are generational differences between the controllers and the experiences. So there is definitely a generational difference than Microsoft's migration of evolution of just the same hardware, just better, more powerful. Sony's not saying, go play all your old PlayStation 4 games this holiday. They're like, no, Spider-Man built from the ground up. Yeah, we're putting it on PlayStation 4, but it is a PlayStation 5 game that is going to show the power of PlayStation 5. Oh, Horizon, and that was something that I was going to do another video on, but this whole Bethesda thing came up. But just as a preview, maybe I'll do another one. But I wanted you to go to Digital Foundry and watch their breakdown of Horizon Zero Dawn 2. They're like, look at the differences. This is only done with next generation hardware. They are basically, let's see, I know it's on a side note, a detour, but since I got the grinders in here, maybe you get this little ad hoc piece. Hit that like button, everybody share out the video. We're going to do one more thing. One last thing. Let's see. What is it? Digital Foundry, Horizon Forbidden West. Yeah, here it is. Just to kind of show you something.
Helps bring the world of Horizon Zero Dawn to life while employing effective anti-aliasing with moderate texture filtering, producing a very clean image overall. It looks great, of course, but when you fire it up on the PS4 Pro, image quality improves dramatically. In fact, Horizon might just take better advantage of the new hardware than just about any other game we've tested to date. For starters, the pixel count comes in at a full 2160p using checkerboard rendering, which means an image that maps directly onto the pixel grid of a 4K display are decidedly more improved. Anisotropic filtering, as well as a couple other enhancements we'll discuss later on.
Oh, wait a second. I ran the wrong one. No. Is this it? Yeah.
Milliseconds or so. Decima only renders a small portion of the clouds in one frame.
Watch.
Fluffy detail.
So he's talking about the skyboxes. I encourage you to watch this video because the point I'm going to make is that them going over the in-depth review of the PlayStation 5 trailer analysis of the Forbidden West, it's like, this is next gen, this is next gen, this is next gen. There's nothing in here that says, oh, there's some legacy stuff coming over from PlayStation 4. This is what's holding it back. Like, there's nothing like that here. Now, if we see it again and it looks downgraded because of this PlayStation 4, then we could talk. But, you know,
draw distance here. The density and dynamism of the world in this trailer is not just limited to the ground, as there's been a nice upgrade in sky rendering as well. Now, the way sky rendering works in Decima on PS4 and PS4 Pro is rather unique. To get such fluffy detail on a limited GPU budget of just 2 milliseconds or so, Decima only renders a small portion of the clouds in one frame and updates the whole rendering of all the clouds over many frames. This amortizes the rendering costs, which would otherwise be way more expensive. This means detail could be preserved when the clouds are at a great distance parallaxed from the camera, but they could not show off sudden and dramatic changes or fast movement necessarily, since they're actually being rendered over many frames. This is a good compromise though, as in real life it's generally hard to see clouds moving very quickly, or you're not exactly moving through the clouds at the speed of a jet fighter, for example, in real life usually. So I was surprised to see in this trailer how they had fast-moving swirling cloud formations. The entire cloudscape center here is moving at a very high parallax, even from the camera view on the ground, which genuinely would not be possible in the old system as I understand it. Not only that, but the resolution of the clouds themselves look decidedly higher than that which we found in Horizon Zero Dawn. Here I would imagine the extra afforded power of the PS5 GPU has allowed them to have animated volumetric sky that does not suffer greatly from visible artifacting that would happen under the constraints of older hardware. And actually, going back to the public documentation Guerrilla Games published on this cloud system called Nubis, you can see hints of this type of rendering in the future work section at the end of their SIGGRAPH 2017 presentation, basically their wish list for the future back then. Beyond these larger facets, some smaller details of graphical splendor caught my eye in this trailer, like the water rendering. In this shot here, the water actually shows crest breaking in the waves, which is very rare to see in video games at all. Or you have waves in the opening scene which break into form vertically as they hit these rocks here. You can even see this wave crest breaking behavior rendering far out into the distance in the final shot of the trailer. And what I liked seeing also is that it is not limited to just large surfaces, as smaller surfaces are replete with a lot of detail.
Anyway, I encourage you to go see it, but you get the point. I don't hear held back. I don't hear this doesn't look good. Yeah. So for people going like, what's up, D? Oh, smighty God, how you going? Yeah. Exactly, Ryan Lands. If Halo looked better, I don't think anybody would be talking about cross-generation and holding back or anything like that. Halo freaked people out. They said, oh my God, that's just a bad dev. All right? And that's just something that needs a lot of work. And that's another thing. Booty got a lot of work to do. So here's another 8 studios, booty hole. Like, yeah, good luck managing all them and ensuring quality content coming from Bethesda, who tends to have a lot of janky-ass games at launch. Good job with, I didn't think I was going to come to this one, but I got to say it. Phil Spencer, what do you got to say, Phil?
Means when I think about Xbox, I'm going to think about quality games. We have work to do there. We haven't done our best work over the last few years with our first-party output.
Oh, damn. Well, good luck. You're just buying up places now. So, back to the point of the whole thing. Microsoft wants more studios. They're going to be aggressive. And my nervousness is that I really hope they don't just start buying up publishers just so they can control the Day&Date in GamePass, because that is the lifeblood of that subscription. It's not the legacy games. Those are there. But it is the Day&Date, the head turners. That is going to be a busy booty, man. He is going to be a busy booty. But to the point of the whole thing with this Day&Date, that's where this came from. And reading these articles and seeing this, that's the reason why, to my intent, that they bought Bethesda. So that they could say, hey, publisher Bethesda Softworks, or whatever you are, and ZeniMax, all your new games that are coming out will be in Game Pass on day one. Here's your $7.5 billion. Now, the gamer in me really wants to see creativity, able to merge IPs. And this is where I said yesterday, like, Microsoft already has so many IPs that they never even used. They never even did anything with them. The Banjo went on Switch. Perfect Dark, who knows, maybe they're using them. Conker, he's Left for Dead. They have these franchises that really, even Gears, like, they really didn't even evolve Gears. What happened to all the stuff about Gears 5? Like, Gears is just like a forgettable franchise now. It came out, I think it died with Rod Ferguson. Rod Ferguson left, and all of a sudden, like, Gears 5 is just, like, on a back burner somewhere. And they're like, yeah, here's Gears Tactics. Suck on this. Yo, what's up, frogs? I was asking you what to come on. Talk about your horrible pre-order stories. D says, if you see the games that were made on PlayStation 4, there's no way you could think PlayStation 4 could hold back PlayStation 5. Exactly. And that's what I'm saying. When they talked about Spider-Man, when they talked about Horizon Zero Dawn, this is a discussion for another day. But since that came up in the questions, I definitely wanted to address it. Since one of the grinders had that, is if their grinds my gears, I'm gonna help you. I'm gonna help you grind your gears. Something pisses you off, you let me know in the chat. We're gonna grind gears together. But yeah, it was something that was definitely on my mind. I had it in my notes that I wanted to do something about it, because when you see games looking like that, there was nothing saying held back or this is not a generational game at all. That's why everybody drank the juice that Jim Ness was serving, because he was talking about next generation and showing next generation. What's up, JS? How you doing? Showing next generation. So when you show next generation,
enough from me. We're gonna have the games do our talking.
And the games did do the talking. That's why when he's like, oh, PlayStation 4, like, oh, that sucks. People got really upset. But the thing is like, you can't hate on what they showed. You can't sit back and go, oh, that's all last generation bullshit that they showed. Everybody was oohing and ahhing. Oh my God, the lighting. Oh, like everybody was going crazy. Horizon. Digital Foundry was having a graphic eye fest. Like, you can't, when you show games, there is definite, oh, of course they did. Well, they lied about cross-generation, but they did say, I always thought they were going to do cross-gen. Some games cross-gen. Sony is an octopus. They're cracking with the body. Sony's going to dab in games in PC. They're going to dab in cross-generation. Who knows? Saturday, supposedly, Last of Us has an announcement for the Last of Us Day, whatever that's called. They got an announcement. Maybe it's the multiplayer. I think that game would probably be cross-gen. Multiplayer game. What's up, PlayStation King of Kings? But yeah, exactly. Sam Ash Miles Morales didn't look held back. Now, maybe if that was the plan, but like I said before, these stocks that we saw, these allocations have been pretty low. So maybe they thought they're not going to hit all their PlayStation hits, and maybe they had to put it on PlayStation 4. Maybe they weren't going to. I don't know. But it doesn't look like those games are held back. And that's the thing. Like, it's really hard to hate when you see those two games looking the way they do. Now, if they come back and freaking Craig comes out, Aloy turns around and it's goddamn Craig. Oh, shit. That's
You son of a bitch.
Now we get downgrades. Well, Spider-Man comes out and he's fighting Craig. Yeah. Now we got some problems. Yeah, the Metal Gear Solid remakes. Like, Sony, the thing is, and this is the thing that's been, that started this channel. Xbox, everything that they're doing is wonderful. It's nice. However, it gets hyped up to the 11th degree, and all I see is just a big distraction for the big thing that they do not have. Desirable games that people want to play. Not for a couple of months, not for a season. We're talking over 3 goddamn years. And whatever games that they had were former shells of what they were. Gears don't hit the way it did. It dropped off. You don't understand the hype for Gears that my friends had. We were hyped. Gears 4 died off. Gears 5 non-existent. That's how bad. We would get together, hype up Gears. We would stop what we're doing and play Gears of War. And Gears 4 was it, and it died in about a month or so. After that, because it was just more of the same. We were Gears overloaded. We had all the remakes, all the remasters. They just killed us with Gears of War. That by the time Gears 4 came out, it wasn't much different than the games that we've been playing, and it died off in a month. Gears 5, nobody out of my group, from what I used to play, my hardcore friends that I know in real life that we play this game religiously, didn't even blink an eye at Gears 5. Not one of them played it. I was the only one that played Gears 5. And that was the one in GamePass. So games that did have that lust, that lore, didn't hold on. And the new IP that they had didn't deliver. The passion projects lacked passion. And it became about GamePass, hardware, teraflops, Phil Spencer. What did he say? Major Nelson shows, backwards compatibility updates, everything. Distraction as to what they were lacking. And that's what grinded my gears and still grinds my gears. This Bethesda thing, it's great on paper. Great IP. So was the Rare deal. Great IP. Conker, Banjo, woo. Where's Viva Pinata, I say? You got this IP. What are you going to do with it? And what's the next big Bethesda game that's coming out that's coming to your platform? Oh, we don't know. You're telling me in 2024 you're going to be like Fallout 6, I told you so, is exclusive. What happens if Fallout 6 comes out and they go, come into PlayStation 5? You just sat here for 3 goddamn years vouching for a company celebrating $7.5 billion sales, and then the game is a multi-platform game. And then all you're going to say is, I'm not buying it. I'm just going to play it in Game Pass. Like, what are we celebrating here? People that don't even play Bethesda games are loving Bethesda now. They didn't even like them. Boo. Yo, what's up, Salty? Like, what are you celebrating? Oh, Starfield. Do you know what it looks like? Did you see the game? They announced it last year. It's years out. So 3 years from now, when you see Starfield, if maybe you see it next year, what happens if they say? What happens if they say PlayStation 5? There goes your exclusivity. Or what are you going to say? Well, it's in Game Pass. You guys got to buy it. I don't. Ha, 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 ha. What the fuck are we talking about here? So when you finally get a game, you just don't want to pay for it. What are we doing? Frog, jump into the Discord. What are we doing? What are we celebrating? Like, that's the thing. Meanwhile, you got to get angry at PlayStation. They're giving you games. They're getting exclusives. They're getting Final Fantasy. They're giving you content for your device that you could play now, that you could play this holiday, that you could play next year, that you are playing with Last of Us 2 and Ghost, and that you have played with Spider-Man and God of War and Detroit Become Human and Days Gone. Oh, and then here's your little passion projects. Astrobot, VR, Blood and Truth. Do I need to go on? They got some weird-ass shit like Erica, the game where you play on your goddamn phone and can manipulate the screen. They got some crazy-ass shit with the aim controller where you're shooting fucking in a virtual environment. Things that we're doing now. Virtual reality. Hell, Minecraft VR came out buggy as shit. Thanks, Phil. But still, VR on Minecraft. Nobody's asking for it, Phil. Xbox is not asking for it. They just sit and wait. And what did this Bethesda $7.5 billion do for you? You know what it did? It took a crying baby going, where are my games? Game Pass, and it gave you a little pacifier. It's another jump start. This Bethesda deal is another way to just pacify the situation and the dire reality. They're launching a console in 1.5 months with 0 goddamn games from their first party. They're giving you a PC port of a top-down Gears Tactics shooter that you could play, that you could have played since April or March. That's the best they got for you. With all those fucking studios. 13! I see these people with the pitches. Oh, celebration! Look at all these studios and just salivating over bullshit. Bullshit that you can't play. Bullshit that you can't use right now. Oh, look at all these studios. And you got guys like Cobra making goddamn fan art bullshit. What's the last game you fucking played, dumbass? You celebrate the studios, but they haven't produced shit for you. I would like to see one fucking clip or screenshot of you playing one of these goddamn studio games instead of these fan art bullshits celebrating that they got 23 studios of fucking gots. It's so fucking frustrating because it's all a distraction. When everybody else, even Nintendo, even PC dudes, everybody's playing fucking games. Everybody's playing. So I just don't get what this does. All this does is the same thing that those studio purchases that Phil went on stage 2 years ago and said, we bought studios. And what did that do? That turned the conversation for the next 2 years of like, we're working on games. They're saving them for next gen. Where are the games? Well, we're in next gen in 1.5 months. And where are the fucking games? Anything they showed in July? Anything they showed in July, is that coming out in June? Is that coming out in December? Is that coming out in February? Is that coming out in March? Hell, where the hell's Halo coming out, please? Tell me. Thanks. They're selling the game with a goddamn Halo. They're going to have you buy Halo Infinite with a goddamn Master Chief toy. What do? Stare at the Master Chief toy while you wait for the goddamn game to come out? And then they got the balls to say, we bought all these studios. We got 23 studios. But we got a whole library of old-ass games that you could play day one. You bought 23. That's what I said at the end of yesterday. You have all these studios, and I'm going to hear it takes time. Oh, it takes time. When you're already waiting 4 years. Next gen is here. It's still taking time. Those games that they showed in July, they're not ready for March of next year. Who knows if they're even ready for next holiday? Maybe at XO 2021, Phil will show you if they decided what the gameplay is going to be for Everwild. Go to the UPP one. Frog, we'll go to that one. You know, maybe they'll show you what's going on in what the gameplay is decided in Everwild. You know? Like, that's what this does. And now what happens? You're sitting here with Bethesda. Bethesda, what are your next games? Oh, they're 2 PlayStation exclusive games. Okay. And they're coming out next 2021 next year is one of them. So when are you going to see anything from Bethesda?
Yo,
what's up, Frog? How you doing? Finally, I stretched
hey,
out the show.
How's my sound quality? Just want to make sure it's good.
You're good.
Man, I got 3 things to say.
You got gears to grind. That's why you come in here, the gears to grind. It's like the Dr. Phil.
I definitely got some gears to grind.
Let's go.
So there's 3 things I'm going to say, and I'm just going to kind of see what you think about it. Okay, so Microsoft buys Bethesda. It's a good move for them. It could be possibly, in a sense, a bad move for gaming because if they keep buying companies up like this, and here's my thing. I'll be totally honest with you. I do like some Bethesda games. My main 2 games I like of theirs are the Fallout, even though they're buggy as hell, and their Elder Scroll games, once again, buggy as hell. I like those 2 franchises, and I had to think about how much money they spend. This is $1 trillion company. Sony's only worth like $80 billion. So, of course, we know that, this would have been a hard push for Sony to buy. So
they bought a publisher, dude. Yeah.
Right. Here's my thing, and this is what I think about it. And I'm going to call some Xbox guys out I've been seeing on Twitter. These guys...
Just say them in general. Just say them in general, unless you really want the beef.
No, I don't want the beef. I'm just going to say in general, there are a lot of Xbox guys who are like talking about this, and they don't play Bethesda games. They don't. They've never beat a Bethesda game. They don't invest in business. Look, Jack Move said something I totally agree with. He said, look, I said a long time ago, and I remember him saying this, Microsoft needs to buy Bethesda because their games aren't that great. They're buggy. Now, some of the games they publish are good, like Doom and, the new Doom, but a lot of games they publish don't sell well. And here's what I think. When I first saw the news, I was like, holy crap, this is huge, right? And then I sat there and I let it marinate for some time, right? And then I had to sit back and say, wait, what really has Bethesda made themselves that's been good? I mean, Fallout 4, okay. That's what really has...
Yeah, that was a big show, right? The big one.
Bethesda is, to me, and this is just me, I think Bethesda, they hit a high mark when they were in their 360 PS3 generation. That's when they were just like this big deal. Starting with Morrowind in the first Xbox, going into the 360.
Oh my God, I remember that.
They've always had good relationship with Microsoft. Phil Spencer's and telling lies. Is this a good get for them? Yes. But, and this is my personal feeling, I do believe that their franchises, when I look at their sales, they sell better on PlayStation. This generation, not last generation, this generation.
Well, there are more PlayStations. That is 2 to 1.
So we're talking about, if we're talking about the current form factor of things, I do kind of see them saying, you know what, the Elder Scrolls games comes to PlayStation. The new Starfield game they created, that's coming to PlayStation. The new Fallout game comes to PlayStation. I think games like Dishonored 3 will stay maybe exclusive. I think games like the Wolfenstein will stay exclusive because those games don't really sell big. But I think the big killer apps will be multiplayer. They'll be everywhere. Now, where I think this is good for Microsoft is that, it's in Game Pass, and Game Pass owners get to have these games, and Sony owners may have to pay $69. But on the flip side of it, I think that, when you see sales, you're going to see this game sell. As long as a Fallout game is going to sell, I'm gonna put it like that. No, everybody knows Fallout 76.
The next Fallout number, like the Fallout
76 was a trash
Fallout
bucket, but
5,
the game still did.
Garbage,
it did well. And the next Fallout 5, that's going to sell big numbers. The next Elder Scrolls game is going to. Microsoft is not stupid. If they invested $7 billion, they want some of that money back, their return. They're going to put that game on a PS5. I don't see that. And here's the thing, and this is what I'll say to this. Like, I think they'll, and because I think they'll let Bethesda self-publish like those 2 games, and the rest of the games they'll say, you know what, we'll just keep those and put them in Game Pass. Because I had to really sit here and think about it. I said, man, does this? Because I see a lot of people, the Sony guys, saying, hey, Sony needs to go out there and buy like a Square Enix or a Capcom or a Take-Two. And I said, the thing is, Sony's only worth like for instance, let's say Take-Two Interactive.
Well, honestly, I say, Mind the Murdoch says, he said Fallout 4 is it coming for free for the PlayStation Collection? I think it is.
It is.
Yeah.
And that's another thing we'll talk about. We'll get to that. But what I was going to say is, when you look at what PlayStation has done this generation, they've dominated in the hardware and in the software sales. The only company that's even come close to rivaling is Nintendo when the Switch came out. And that took them to make, another console.
Yeah.
Microsoft this generation has always had a problem. I think Microsoft is going for the software, the subscription stuff, and Sony will keep selling this stuff. And Microsoft knows, like, well, we own this company. We can make money if we put these games here. It makes more sense to say, okay, we got an Elder Scrolls game, we got a Starfield game, because that I know I want to play that, and we have. Now, me as the fan of those, of their titles, will I buy an Xbox just to play their titles if they're not on my platform of preference, PS5? Yes, I will, because.
But I don't think they're going to do that, though. I think they'll put it on PlayStation, and then they'll just make it in Game Pass on Xbox.
Yes, I think you may see they may do like a Tomb Raider deal where it'll be a year and then it'll come to PlayStation 5, or they say it's in Game Pass. And it's still on PlayStation 5 on the same day.
Well, that's what Phil said in that article. He said that, you'll see Bethesda be different, he says here, and he says, gamers will notice a difference with Bethesda, noting the company's games will now be offered in Game Pass subscription same day they hit store shelves. So that's the point of this whole thing. Like, I think that's why they bought them, so they could control the Game Pass launch day and date.
Now, here's a flip side of it. Now, I'm gonna be honest with you. If let's say if Elder Scrolls never comes to PlayStation, if and I'm gonna talk about 3 franchises: the Elder Scrolls franchise, the Fallout franchise, and their new Starfield franchise, right? Which I don't know too much about, but I know
we don't know anything about any of these freaking games.
It's a sci-fi-ish kind of, and it's the same like Fallout team. They're kind of making it. And those are the 3 franchises I'm kind of. Doom, don't get me wrong, I think it's cool, but if I don't play Doom on my PlayStation, I have to only play it on Xbox. I'm cool with that. Dishonored, whatever. Wolfenstein, whatever.
Yeah,
the three franchises, and the 2 franchises I'm concerned about are just Fallout and Elder Scrolls, which I think those 2 franchises, no ifs, ands, or buts, will come to PlayStation, because when you look at just what those franchises do, when they announce those franchises. And I think Microsoft comes out there and they talk about it on stage. But there again, I think they either do 1 or 2 things. They say it's coming. It's 1 of 3 things. It's going to come to PS5, but it won't. It'll be on their system for a year. It'll come the same date because it's in Game Pass, so they'll have no threat, and they'll still get those sales. They'll get those sales numbers because people are going to go out and buy those games in droves. Or it just never comes, and they say, "Holy crap! Our Game Pass numbers, is Game Pass growing?" Yes. And so they're doing a subscription base, but I'm pretty sure Microsoft will want to sell, 10, 15 million copies of the next Elder Scrolls games on the PS5 at $70.
Of course they would. And
I'm pretty
think
sure
and that's where I think the leverage is, and what they're trying to do is they're trying to control the distribution. Like they said that we're just going to leave them alone. Like they're just going to make their games, and we're just going to say, well, that game's going in Game Pass, because they can't force Cyberpunk. And I know that I was trying to look for the article that you shared where 2K said. Send me the link to that article, because I was trying to show the grinders.
Yeah, 2K said it wasn't profitable to put games in Game Pass. It just
exactly. And I think Microsoft is running into an issue where they're at a point right now where they're like, hey, third party is not willing to drop their games day one in Game Pass. Gaming is getting more expensive. We need to have some head turners. We need to have some content day one that people want to subscribe to. Halo was supposed to be it. Well, Halo's not doing it right now, and Gears maybe didn't do what they wanted it to do. Remember, Microsoft is constantly pivoting every single time they do this. And the issue I have with this whole thing is similar to what you said when you first came on, was if they start just buying up publishers so that they could control them in Game Pass, we're going to be in some deep shit. Because they're going to corner the goddamn market, and they're just going to be like, yo, take all these games and just throw them in Game Pass.
Well, here's another thing I wanted to mention to you. Okay, so I saw a lot of people saying, oh, if it was on the other foot, if Sony were to do this, and they say they were only going to PlayStation 5, people won't have the same energy. Well, the difference is, and I'm going to tell people the difference. The difference is you're talking about $1 trillion company, and you're talking about $1 billion company. Like, Sony, I think, want to make money. So I do think that Sony would say, we need to control the narrative. And I think Sony would keep those games exclusive on PlayStation 5 and make people want to invest in their ecosystem.
Of course. That's why you get everybody complaining when Sony does this.
Microsoft, on the other hand, they're $1 trillion company, and yes, they want to make money, but the reality is this, because and I put this comparison. I said if Sony were to buy Take-Two Interactive, they would get Grand Theft Auto and NBA.
They wouldn't put that anywhere besides the PlayStation.
Yeah, that would only be on PlayStation. The reason it would only be on PlayStation, people got to remember the days of PlayStation 2.
And that's why people say it's anti-consumer. That when Sony they pull it off.
But when Grand Theft Auto 3 came out and was on PS2, that made that system sell a lot of systems and a lot of copies of that game. It eventually came to Xbox, but the fact of the matter is, like, the only place you could play that game for years was on a PlayStation 2. Sony knows the power. Like, there's certain franchises you could look at and say they have staying power. If Sony were to do because I think when I looked at the revenue, Take-Two's worth, I think like 17 billion, 20 billion. So if Sony were to go on there with a 20 billion and then drop it on Take-Two, they have no choice but to keep that game on their console and to make that game, because that game, we know Grand Theft Auto is going to sell consoles. No ifs, ands, or buts.
Of course, yeah.
Now, Fallout, it's going to sell some things. Elder Scrolls is going to sell, but not like a Grand Theft Auto game. Grand Theft Auto is a system seller. It's something you pick up. You just got to look at the #1 game of all time at this point, selling. Grand Theft Auto 5 is for a reason. People keep buying and buying and buying, and we know there's other reasons, microtransaction. But what I'm saying is, Grand Theft Auto, and I don't think maybe because I saw somebody say, hey, Sony, their gaming division is only worth 30 bill. I said, yeah, but their company's worth, and Sony as a whole is worth 80 mil. Like, Microsoft's
game in the chat that 97 point. Who? I think D Almighty Spartan said it. Said they're like 97 point something billion, like a billion.
Who is?
But see, the thing is, Sony.
They're close to 100 bill. But what I'm saying is, so if Sony went in there and they invested that money on Take-Two and said, we own Take-Two Interactive and all their properties and license behind it, a lot of people would be upset if Grand Theft Auto was on PlayStation only, but you have to think
97.8 billion.
Yeah, but you got to think a company like that, if you're spending 20 bill, you got to make that back quick. Investors are going to see.
Yeah, Glob says Take-Two is 18 billion.
Yeah, 18 billion. So I mean, do I see Sony buying a company? I say never. Would it be a big investment? Hell yeah. If Sony had bought Bethesda, I don't think, I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't personally think that Sony, like, when you look at Bethesda's history with Microsoft, they have really good history.
They do. I was going over it before. Bethesda really wasn't in the highest of standards in the last few years. Like, they were kind of hitting. They weren't hitting a stride.
Really released it was really like great that they made was Fallout 4.
Yeah,
Outside of that, they published some good games like
They
the
tried.
Dooms and the Dishonored, but unfortunately, like Dishonored's never really took. They just don't sell well. I think they're okay games. They just don't sell well.
See,
but here's
and
another thing.
I don't know if did you say it or somebody said it too. And this was another reason why I was like, it's the Game Pass Day and Date that I think is really driving this. Is that there's a lot of redundancy in the Bethesda purchase over what they had. Like they already, I think you said that, right? You said that they had Oblivion. They got
Oblivion. Right, they got Obsidian.
They got Obsidian, not Oblivion, but they got Obsidian. And then they also have Playground making an RPG game. It's like, well, why do you get another RPG dev, Bethesda? Like, it just...
Now, here's a question I have for
like,
you.
What are you stacking the deck for? It's kind of confusing as to, like, it's redundant.
The rumor is Sony is going to buy somebody, and, you know, I don't know.
Exile 2, D says. Yeah, and Exile does RPGs. Like, it just seems really redundant that they just keep buying a lot of these, like, they're not filling in any gaps. Like, there's no, like, amazing third-party action, known for making third-party action games, or maybe making fun arcade sports games or something.
I
think differentiation.
I think Bethesda is a good fit for like helping like
some guys code.
Some of those guys over there help make Fable. You know, I think they have the RPG roots. And they do understand that.
I don't think they're going to crush streams, though. Like, that's where, like, we're going to leave them alone. Like, I don't think they're making crossovers. Like, I hope they do.
I honestly think that if we see any games come to PlayStation, I'm specifically saying PlayStation, you know, we know they're coming to PC, but PlayStation, I think the games you may see are like Elder Scrolls and Fallout because they know, oh, shoot, these are big money makers. And they may say, hey, timed exclusive, whatever. Yeah. But, you know, the whole theory behind Sony buying a company, I said, you know, the only company that would make sense to me for Sony to go out there and purchase, only two companies I can think of, and it'd be either Capcom or Square Enix. And the reason I say that is because, you know, Square Enix and Sony have always been a freaking force to be reckoned with. But I don't think Sony wants to do that. I think Sony would rather go into a company and say, hey, you can make an exclusive for us and we'll pay you to make an exclusive.
And that's the thing. You're right. And I
with
do
Capcom, I think they work better like that.
If they're getting the exclusives anyway, right? Then why would they buy them? Like, this is the thing where I fear that if Microsoft, like Satya was saying, like, yo, we're not done. Like, we will continue to buy people. Like, if they start doing this and cornering Sony, I think Sony will have to respond by buying stuff to just protect it from Microsoft not buying it from them. And you know, that's going to suck. Like, that's going to suck. Like, you want to make proper buys. You don't want to just buy to protect. Like, you know, like
Microsoft has always wanted to be the new Sega. When they came in, they wanted to buy Sega. A lot of people don't know this. They wanted to buy Sega, and Sega was like, "Nah, we're just gonna go multi-plat." When they saw the Dreamcast falling apart, and they saw what Sega, they actually wanted to buy Sega. And Sammy came in and said, "No, like you know,
the Japanese. They're gonna buy Sega tomorrow, or so Microsoft gonna buy Sega."
Let me be honest with you. If they buy Sega,
then we're in deep. Like, then we know where this is going. They're gonna just buy the whole goddamn game.
Buy Sega. When I look at what Sega's been doing, if they buy Sega, I don't think that's a big threat.
I know, like but Sega.
Why? Because there are a lot of games that Sega has.
Yakuza and Persona, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of games that Sega has. You know, and they just don't do well on that platform. If they're buying Sega, it's to try to see if that market in Japan, if they can pull some of them people over to Xbox. Like I said, you know, we have to look at the powerhouse companies, you know, and it would be like Sony going out there and saying, we're buying Activision. Call of Duty is exclusive to PlayStation only. There's no way that would happen because even if they bought Activision, they will put Call of Duty everywhere because it's a moneymaker.
Exactly.
Duty makes too much money when I think about it. I'm like, holy crap!
What's Sega's next big game either too? Like what is it?
There's like three companies out there. The top three companies I would say they make the money. The EAs, even though they're trashing a lot of stuff, EA makes a lot of money off their sports franchises. Activision makes a lot of money off of WoW
Call of Duty
and
WoW,
Call of Duty. And then I would say Take-Two Interactive.
Like what, Deep Silver's out there? Like I can see like Deep Silver might be one.
Yeah, I can see some of the smaller
THQ
companies.
Nordic, right? THQ Nordic, that's the other one.
But I just don't see them. I don't see anybody buying the big three. Like Ubisoft, I could kind of see maybe somebody wanting to buy Ubisoft, but there again, you know, Ubisoft is one of those companies. It's kind of like they used to be the top three companies. I think they're like the fifth. And they don't want to be acquired. They fought being acquired for so long.
Yeah, Ubisoft.
I've heard rumors. Oh, they're going to buy Bungie back. Bungie does not really want to be acquired. by Microsoft. They don't mind working with them, but I don't think they want to be acquired. If they buy Sega, I would be like, oh, okay, so they bought Sega, but it would take in my mind. I would be like, okay, I see what Microsoft's trying to do. They're trying to create a monopoly, and they're saying, well, we're trying to, because the difference between
they're trying to create a monopoly of Game Pass and turn every game into the service of their Game Pass. Like that's the problem I have with it. Like I don't mind if they buy these studios to make great exclusive games and make great games, but if they're just buying these studios just so that they launch in Game Pass,
it's
that's
a creative
some
service.
horseshit. Like that sucks.
And the reason I keep saying Microsoft is because the difference between Xbox and PlayStation is Xbox has $1 trillion company behind them. I know they got a pocketbook that they got to stop and say, hey,
they could do and that's the scary thing is they could just go around buying
company
people
and they can go around and just buy whoever they want. They can buy whoever they want, and guess what? It can be created as a monopoly
of just games.
And guess what?
Games.
Even though Sony's PlayStation Studios, they create great games. When you got all these studios you bought and like these games are locked to your system, it could hurt the industry more than anything. So I don't see Bethesda. I think was a good buy for them. Bethesda to me will be like Sony buying Square Enix. They're like I will put both those companies and say if Sony bought Square Enix, I'll be like, whoa, that was a bold move. Just like Microsoft buying Bethesda, that's and ZeniMax, that's a bold move.
Yeah.
If tomorrow or whatever we find out Sony's buying Square Enix, that'll be a huge move. But that company fits Sony. That fits the PlayStation ecosystem. Same with Bethesda. I think Bethesda fits. It fits in Microsoft's kind of way they make games. I think they're great for that kind of model.
Yeah, because they have a good PC backing and also they've been experiencing
like
PC
if they
and
put
console.
Fallout 76 on a Game Pass and it was only exclusive on Xbox, the game would do well. It'd be people would subscribe just to play that game. As buggy as it is, people would still subscribe. And so I don't think this is a bad thing. My only problem is I just worry about if it starts to become the norm where they're just purchasing whole companies and all these.
Yeah,
and
they
we're
can't
sitting
make.
back
Because he says it in that article where he's
what
like
happens.
inorganic
We're
growth.
We're sitting back and we're seeing the only companies left are like the EAs, the Activisions, the Ubisofts, the freaking the Take-Twos. Those are the only companies that can do multiplats. I'm like, that does hurt gaming. Because now you created a way where you're like, hey, everything has to be in the service. It's got to be on our platform.
I know, and that's the scary thing about it. That's the concerning thing with it. Like if Microsoft was taking companies and making incredible games with these companies and making merges and because I look at this Bethesda purchase and I'm like, well, what are they doing? Do they want to make a Fallout, a New Vegas 2, or? And they're like, no, we're just going to leave them alone. And then you think about Booty, if he's running Xbox Studios, he got 23 studios he's running now. And if you look also at the 2 years that they bought these studios, what have we seen from these studios? We've seen very small output from them.
As far as published games, they publish a lot of games.
And what they showed in July, that stuff's not ready in the next year or so.
Starfield's not going to be ready, right? Anytime soon.
No, that's even for Bethesda, but even the studios that they bought, Avowed, is that coming out next year? No. 2 years? Who knows? Fable? 2 years? I don't know.
All I'm saying is like
when are these games coming out? All going to hit in 2025, and they're going to be like, that $7 billion was worth it. And what happens when they do in 2025, and they go, hey, the game's on PlayStation also? It's like, okay.
I do like the competition, right? But the only thing I'm scared is like, holy shit, if you guys start going out and buying this company,
like Sega, THQ Nordic, and then all of a sudden now Xbox has all these Game Pass games day one, and it's like now it's like, oh, you can buy them if you want.
That's where I have to go, because now if I want to pay the majority of multiplats, if they're only available there, which I think that at the end of the day they do want to make money. Here's the other thing. Now I'm gonna talk about something different. I'm talking about pre-orders. These consoles, man.
Oh shit.
So. Pre-ordered my PS5. Finally got it.
Oh, you got it.
Hold on. I don't know if you've seen what I sent you.
Yes, you got it, and then something.
And guess what? GameStop cancels my pre-order because
deal.
they say, everything was good to go.
You got the bundle, right? And they canceled the bundle?
Yes, they canceled it. I was so furious. But then I had to sit back and say, you know what? Don't worry about it, Frog. I'm pretty sure I'd be able to get one. By the end of the year. I'm pretty sure. I'll play, the Call of Duty on my PS4 Pro, and I'll play Cyberpunk until I get a PS5. But it really kind of bothers me. So I wake up this morning, and I'm watching like Dreamcast guy, and I'm watching Zaire, and I'm watching all them stand in line, a whole bunch of people stand in line for the S Series X. And so I'm like, you know what? I wonder, and this is what I thought.
Hit that like button, everybody.
I'm like, I wonder if I can get a Series X. I'm like, well, shit, they got Bethesda. I like some of the games. Why not buy Series X now and then get a PS5 later? Even though I want the PS5 first.
Yeah.
So I go to a couple of places. Everything's crashing. Finally, go to GameStop. I said, even though I don't want to mess with GameStop, I didn't learn my lesson. Go to GameStop.
Yeah, you got an argument with that guy.
Hey, sure enough, I can buy one. Yeah, I'm still here. You hear me?
No, that guy at GameStop that you got an argument with.
Oh yeah, big argument.
Was he still there? He went back.
No. So no, I went online. No, I went online this time. I got smart. Get online.
How many did you have? How many did your GameStop have?
My GameStop had 8 X's and no, they had. I'm sorry, they had four X's and 4 S's.
Jesus.
The one I usually go to. So I get online. I said, I'm just going to try to wait. So they put me in this queue. It says, sit in this queue to wait, and you don't get out of the queue. Don't refresh because you're in line.
Yes.
Put me through the queue. I get through to buy one, and guess what? The only one that's available is $1,000.
The Phil Ness edition.
I got an Xbox. Let me tell you what it came with.
That's the Phil Spencer Glory Hole edition.
even the ones that were in that membership thing where you could pay monthly,
yeah,
they were sold out. But they had one for $1,000. It came with the Xbox One S, which is $499, 2 Elite controllers. The brand new Elite controllers, which I don't know why.
Liquidation sale. Like, get these things off my shelves.
2 Elite controllers. Plus, it came with like I think 2 games and like a year of GamePass. It was just really ridiculous. I was like, I'm looking at it, I'm like, I'm not buying this trash.
$1,000. Get the
$1,000. I was like, I said that would be the biggest purchase I ever made. I said, wait, I only want to buy a $399 PS5. Why would I spend $1,000?
Yeah, because that queue, you're right, because that queue for the website, it just gives you access to the website, not to the pre-order. I was in the queue, and then I go, I'm like, oh, I'm just in the GameStop website, and I'm like, the console's not even here. What the hell is this?
They were all sold out, and like the only one you could get was the $1,000 bundle. Like GameStop is this. I'm gonna tell you something about GameStop. I can't wait. As much as I can't wait for them to be a retro game store, I really can't wait because they're such piss poor. I know they got money, and I know that when I say go out of business, I don't think they go out of business in the traditional sense. I think GameStop will be around for a very long time as a brick and mortar store, but I think they'll become a retro store. And I can't stand the people that work there. They're ignorant. They're idiots, and like most of the time they don't help. Every once in a while, you'll get a guy or a girl that really is about helping you. Most of those people are like, look, is this a job? I don't really give a F. Or you get the fanboy.
And I'm sure they've been answering the phones all day that they wish I could take it
off.
Oh,
hell no.
I don't have it. I don't have it.
I heard a story on Weapon Wheel, and BG told a story about how he went to I believe it was BG, he went to a GameStop. They didn't have it. He went to another GameStop, and he was calling them because he didn't want to make the drive. And he gets in there, and homeboy's sitting there talking to his friends, and they're sitting on the counters. And the phone just rang. He's not picking it up. That's the kind of employees GameStop hires. They don't give a flying fuck. Like you get some employees who are cool, but you get some ones who just don't fucking care.
Mog says it comes with this old shelf, a half-eaten banana, a box of games nobody wants, and a broken cash register. $3,000.
And I'm sitting there like, holy shit! Like, so I'm like,
stop the game.
I could have got an X, but I wasn't paying $1,000 for it.
No way. Who's gonna buy that?
Number two, I don't really want. That's not my console preference. Whatever. The third thing is, I'm pretty sure I'll be able to get PS5 either close to launch or a little bit after launch. And the only thing I'm doing now is, if I see any games on PS4 or PS5 that is coming to cross-gen, I'm just buying them. Am I disappointed? Let me talk real quick about the cross-gen thing because I heard you talking about it.
Yeah.
Am I disappointed that Spider-Man? Well, okay, let me phrase this. With the exception of Ratchet and Clank and Dark Demon Souls,
Godfall,
Godfall, they're the only exclusive games. Am I upset that everything else, Bug Snacks, blah blah blah, whatever, is coming to PS4? Yes and no. Yes, because I think it was bad to constantly show us PS5 running on PS5. Yeah, this is running on PS5. and they were real, the way they kind of said it was running on PS5. It's like they never directly said it's only on PS5, but they said running on PS5. So when they come out,
only powerful,
and they,
they're powerful,
and they say, oh yeah, this game is coming on. I understand from a business aspect why Spider-Man Miles Morales will be on PS4. I understand from a business, you got 15 million PS4s out there. As far as business goes, it's smart for business. It's smart for business, especially when you may have limited PS5s come out between now and March. If you only have 15 million PS5s between November and March, that's smart for business because they're like, shoot, the people who get on PS5 can get it, but hey, we're not going to leave, the 115 million PS4 owners behind. So for the hardcore people, I think it does hurt. I would rather have seen these games only be on PS5. On the flip side, I think it was bad messaging to tell us you believe in
generations and all that stuff.
Generations, and then you come out with because like the reality to me is like this: if I can't get a PS5 within that first of this year, right between now and December, or I'll wait and I'm cool, I'm patient. But guess what? All these games that are coming out that I want to play anyway on PS5, I can play on my PS4, with the exception of Demon Souls, Godfall, and freaking what's the other one? There's one more. Oh, Ratchet and Clank, which I don't think Ratchet is coming out anytime soon. So really, at launch, the only thing I really, as far as new games, I was like Godfall and Demon Souls are what I wanted to play. I can't wait to play them. But on the flip side, I'm like, I would love to have played the Call of Duty update and see what it looks like. Play my freaking Destiny 2 in 4K 6. Play my games that play better on that system that I'm continuously playing now. The Witcher enhanced. I would love to see this. Another thing that kind of hurt me is that they decided to kind of screw and Sony to me, this kind of bothered me. You're coming out with a Miles Morales that's $50. Great price, right? But then you're like, oh, here's one that's $69 with the Spider-Man that's remastered. Oh no, by the way, the 20-something million of you that already bought this on PS4, you don't get the remastered version. You don't get that patch to fix it. You just get to play it on your PS4 regularly how it is. You have to buy the new version of it. I'm like, that's kind of bullshit.
Yeah,
that's bullshit.
Exactly. And I think it's a $20 difference. So if they're going to charge you $20 to upgrade your game, that'll be like the first, right?
So
you get this remaster.
Do I understand? Yes. For business-wise, I understand. Do I think it's right? Hell no.
Actually, I was just looking at that. Insomniac was like, well, we redid it. Like, it's a remaster. Like, the shit that you said that you were against. Like, no more remasters.
Totally. No more. And see, I honestly thought
did it. They always find a way.
I honestly thought because the system was back compatible, we would never see a remaster from this generation.
Charging for textures.
And once and behold, Sony, they did go up and they remastered a game from this generation. It was, it was checkerboarded, 30. But I'm like, wait, you couldn't have just said, hey, we're just going to, and I'm just like, wow, go fuck yourself. Like, there's no way I'm buying a $69 version of Spider-Man just to play Spider-Man over again. I play Miles Morales. And guess what? If you buy Miles Morales on PS4, when you get a PS5, you get the upgraded version. But hell, if I already own Spider-Man, I can't get that version because it's totally remastered. Sony can go suck a dick on that one. Like, it just pisses me off.
I'm not playing it again.
No, I'm not playing it again. And
they keep their textures.
And here's the other thing. I got smoke for both Sony and Microsoft. When they do something wrong, I'm gonna say,
Titanfall, how you doing?
Microsoft's pre-orders were just as effed up as Sony's. They were just as effed up. Now we know what's going to happen.
Microsoft just told you when they're gonna fuck you.
Yeah, we know what's going to happen. They're going to blame it on COVID, and I'm not saying that's not the problem, but their pre-orders were just. I saw freaking who was it? It was not Rand. It was Next Gen. Next Gen was video recording live. They only had, I think, 10 systems, or 10 or 8 systems, and they were like 30 people online. And the guy had told Next Gen, hey, let people know when they come, we only got 10. And Next Gen was like, man, I'm on my fucking business. I'm not about to get in that debacle with them. He was like, I'm going to go in there. He was the first person in line. He's like, I'm going to go in there, do my business, and walk out. He's like, that's your business. You tell them you only got 10. I'm not about to get in that conversation with other consumers. He's not and I agree with him. I'm like, why you as a customer should you have to tell other customers, hey, they only got 10. Man, there were so many people in line lined up. I was like, damn, that's sad, man.
Yeah, and they got to tell
That's
them all
sad.
to turn away.
And here's the other thing. A lot of GameStop employees, they when those pre-orders came up, they were buying that shit for themselves and their family and friends, which is bull fucking shit.
Oh, damn.
Because it shouldn't go to them. Yeah, I know. I have friends that work at GameStop. They tell you, a lot of times they do that shit. And my whole thing, they're not supposed to, but they got ways around it. My whole thing is like, this is 2020 in its essence of fuck ups. Like, if anything that can go wrong will go wrong because it's 2020.
It did.
It just seems like that. I think that, Bethesda and Microsoft is a good team. I think that, Sony doesn't need to counter them by buying a big game studio. I do think that, some Bethesda games will still come to PlayStation because they're too big not to. And I think, games like Starfield, Fallout, and Elder Scrolls will still come to PlayStation. Those three titles will come to PlayStation because
Guapzilla says Microsoft's selling $550 Xbox One X's on Amazon right now. Yo, I said that earlier, man. People are buying those things thinking they got the Series X.
Oh my God, I meant to say something about that. Yeah. So yes,
name.
The CSNBC or somebody's reporting on it.
Nice. Sandman says so. Some of the people saying they're gonna play Spider-Man again, the original one. I already played it 3 times. But I would say, the thing is, I want to see what, because I was trying to find the tweet, and Insomniac did tweet out going like they added it's not just an up-res of the game, they actually redid it. So if this game like kind of looks if it looks like Miles Morales on one end and actually it looks like maybe, I have to see the difference.
It would have to be one of those things where I'm sitting there, I'm like
night and day. But I want to see what the upgrade is, because you know what? That's the one thing, though, that this whole cross-gen thing does benefit in the fact that it does differentiate and could show you the power between.
Okay, Jazz. Here's the thing.
This
is the
one thing that it does do.
Jazz, if you own The Witcher already, when The Witcher update enhancement comes out with 4K. They're what, 60 frames?
But they're just upping the res and the frame rate. If they're redoing the textures and stuff like that.
No, and they're giving you, what's it called, ray tracing in the game. If they can do that, hold on. If they can do that, why can't Spider-Man do that?
Well, Spider-Man's not doing just that, though.
If Cyberpunk can do that, why can't, Spider-Man do this?
I'm going to tell you that. See, the thing is,
there's a lot of games.
These free updates, I'm going to tell you right now, these free updates that they're giving are going to be nowhere near what the
PS5 and the Xbox remake can do.
What a remake would be. Like, that's the thing. So, like, I think people are just kind of making this for the PR, because I really think they're just going to say, jack up the res, jack up the frame rate, add some lighting, go. Okay, there's your free update. All right, now buy the next game.
Cyberpunk is unreleased, but Cyber CD Projekt Red said, hey, if you buy it on the PS4, when you play it on your PS5, you'll get the PS5 version. The same with freaking Far Cry 6. Buy it on the PS4, you get the PS5 version. Yeah. A lot of games on PlayStation are saying the same thing. You buy the PS4
but I
version.
think
My thing is, are those just up-res games, or are they true PS5 games? See what I'm saying?
I think they're just up-res games. Like, I think they have some features turned. Remember, like, there were some games with the Xbox 360 and the Xbox One where they were cross-gen games, but they really didn't show the true, like...
Right.
They just looked a little bit better. They weren't, like...
when you were looking at Call of Duty Ghost on Xbox 360... versus like the Xbox One, you're like, whoa, it's a big deal.
Yeah, you wouldn't show that game to somebody being, oh, wow, it looks better, but it's not something I'm going to say, hey, look at next gen, dude. Like, I wouldn't use it. It's
everything was running in true 1080p versus like that really blurry, muddy
exactly
looking.
Yeah. Right. So like those, and I think when they say, hey, you're going to get the PlayStation, I think those games are going to be kind of those kind of crossover games where it looks better, but it's not going to look like, oh, wow, I'm playing an.
It'll be like a more stable frame rate and a true 4K.
I'm sure the graphics look better. I'm sure it'll look sharper. I'm sure they'll probably be more like more lighting, shadows, and maybe things like that.
Any game that's on PlayStation that tells me that I can buy it and I can get a PS5 version, and I don't have to spend $70, I'm just going to buy the PS4 version and wait. Because like they got that it's got God Monsters. I keep calling it God Monsters. That Ubisoft game is coming out.
Oh no.
No, not Godfall.
I found the tweet.
It was previous.
Frog, I found the tweet. So it says
this one. Go ahead.
Oh, I said Insomniac. So they said we additionally updated. So Okay, so wait, is this from them? All right, so they basically, somebody commented saying 60 frames, ray tracing, new trophies, and 3 new suits is not a lot, but I don't care. I'm still buying all of it. So Insomniac writes back on, we additionally updated a large amount of the game's assets, improved lighting, ambient shadows, plus you'll see improved character model and details, and support for the DualSense controller, haptic feedback, and adaptive triggers, 3D audio, and near instant loading.
But okay, didn't they? Okay,
and
didn't somebody take some of the? I don't know, man. I just don't know what to say about this.
I gotta see if it's worth it, because then maybe the $70 version is worth it if it really looks that much different. But we gotta see it. We gotta see what this thing is.
My thing, like I just don't know, man. Like
exactly, Smash. Yeah, if it does look like it.
Interested in Miles Morales? Hell yes. Do I want to play Spider-Man over again because I got a platinum? Not really. I
played it 3 times. I know. Yeah, that's the thing. I played that game 3 times. Where I beat it
difference for me to go buy it again.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Like, I don't think, even if it looked incredible, like, I don't know if I would sit through and play the whole game again, especially if I could play Miles Morales. But also, it depends on how short Miles Morales is, though. Like, if Miles Morales, like, I don't know.
Right.
Like, Miles Morales is like
but here's the thing, Jazz. I mean, I think when we look at it, I think that, the one thing I will say, and this is where I will give Sony credit this holiday, no matter what people can say about, cross-gen, and they lied to us about, moving forward to PS5, they still have more exclusive first-party games this holiday than their competitors.
Oh, of course.
They do. Even if they're on PS4 and PS5, they still have more exclusive, and I don't think they expect all of them to sell well, but I think they're like, well, Godfall's exclusive, yeah, it's on PC, but it's here in this console. Maybe it'll come to Xbox later. Like, because there's a couple of Xbox games on the Series X that are coming on PS4. They're just coming on Xbox first. So maybe Godfall will come later. Would I be mad at
those
that?
Weird things with Yakuza. Like, Yakuza will be playable on a PlayStation 5 at launch. It just won't have the PlayStation 5 updates. Because it'll be able to play on PlayStation 5 through backwards compatibility. It just won't have the updates. It's so weird. Same thing with Devil May Cry 5. Like, it's going to get the PlayStation 5 is going to get the next gen upgrades with the ray tracing.
That makes no sense because
Microsoft's not going to get it.
They're not going to get it. It's eventually going to come, but it's not coming at launch. But here's the other thing. They showed those 18 games in the PlayStation Plus, kind of like, hey, you get these if you got a PS5. I think that's cool. Collection. But do you think, and because here's my theory about that, I think if you're a PS Plus member, you get a PS5 and you get those games, I think those games will be enhanced. I think some way, shape, and form. I think that Bloodborne and all those games, those 18 games, because you remember when Mark Cerny talked about, hey, we got X amount of games to do. Yeah, I think those games will be enhanced. I do see those games being enhanced. And I can see those 18 games. They start out with those 18 games, and then maybe every month they say, here's another set more games in GamePass, and these are enhanced. I can see those 18 games they put in there being enhanced. The reason I say that is because I just can't see them saying, well, we're giving you 18 games, and that's just it. I think they're great games, don't get me wrong, but I do see those games being enhanced. I do see those.
See, the thing is, and this is the whole thing where we got into the whole Major Nelson with his Midnight Penile enhancements. What does enhance mean? Like what the hell does enhance mean? Like, is it just upgrading the res? Is it making faster load screens? Like, this whole thing, like, if it just runs, like, I remember when Microsoft was talking about smart delivery. They're like, smart delivery, if it just runs on an SSD, that's smart delivery. I'm like, well, in order for a game to work on Xbox, it has to run on SSD because that's all that's in there. So, like, I guess every game running on it is a smart delivery.
Look, does Microsoft and Xbox have my attention? Hell yes. Buying Bethesda made me really, it got my attention because I love their games, And so, I heard a lot of people saying their games are trash and they're buggy as hell, but those games are, people know their games.
I'm looking forward to the new ones. Like the thing is that their next 2 games are going to be PlayStation only games, like Deathloop and the Ghostwire. Like, and Deathloop looks really cool.
And they said they would hold that, they wouldn't do that.
Phil's gonna do that. Well, because
I think when Sony, was buying stuff, they wouldn't do that either. I don't think any company would go and do that. That would just, it's like, what's the point? It does make sense to let them just have it. But
those games come to Xbox, they're gonna be in Game Pass day one.
Yeah, Oh
you
yeah.
know. So
Oh, yeah.
he's probably saying is like, I'll build an audience, and then maybe Deathloop. See, what's good is like maybe Deathloop turns into a franchise that maybe they wants a sequel, and then he can say, oh, the sequel will be in Game Pass day one, with Deathloop and day one.
Here's the good. Here's the good. For people who want Microsoft to compete, I want them to compete. I just don't. If the competition, if they're competing in a way where it's a monopoly, it's like
that's the thing. I don't want them to compete
not great.
in a way where they're taking games and they're not making them exclusive just to be exclusive, but they're also just trying to get them in Game Pass day one. Because that's the one thing that irritated me from his comment, where he's just like, "You'll find out that all the Bethesda games will be in Game Pass day one." And it's like, but the exclusive question, he was like, well, that will be a case by case basis. Like, but he commits all the games in Game Pass. He commits all the games in Game Pass, but the exclusive talk, he's like, we'll see. And just think that it's kind of eerie that I'm like, I think that's the whole reason why they even bought this was to get games day and date in Game Pass. Like, I think if games, and he said again, the flywheel, that whole thing I talked about, where they just want to just get content in Game Pass so that developers will just take it, because Microsoft has a history of doing this. You could always bring a horse to water, but you can't force it to drink. Microsoft has all these tools. They bought Havoc, Simplagon, the cloud. They've made DirectX 12.
They have a known history of doing stuff like this, where they'll say
UWP. Remember? Guess what happened? UWP died. Guess why? Because nobody was using it. Because no developer wanted to use it in the store. So they squashed UWP. That's the thing. Like, so they don't want Game Pass to be this thing that no developers utilize. This is their lifeblood. So in order for it to grow, they need to have the games in the system. And in order to get the games in the system, they're going out now and buying publishers and stuff to provide that content for their first party, for their games day and date. And that's the eerie thing. Like, if you're just gonna buy up publishers just to say you could launch games in Game Pass day and date, that's not a future that I'm looking forward to.
That's not looking good.
That's not a good Microsoft. That's bad Microsoft.
If they're in there and they want to truly compete, they got my money, because I'm not going to invest in Game Pass, but I will buy those games that I want that are only on Xbox, because it makes me happy to see that now I can buy a system.
But what happens if they don't put it? If they put it everywhere and they just make it a subscription in Game Pass? So like, then the big games you'll buy on your preferred platform, and then you subscribe for the other ones.
Yeah, I bought on my preferred platform. So if the games I want to play are like on PlayStation on 5,
like say Fallout 5, it comes
I'm
out
gonna
and
buy
it's on PlayStation, but it's in subscription day one in Game Pass.
I'm gonna buy it on PlayStation because that's my preferred place to play.
Yeah.
It's not that I don't.
Because I look at it like Dishonored 3 comes out, and you're like, I don't know, I might Game Pass.
Nah, I'm not. Yeah, I'm not interested in like say for instance, if they say, hey, Fallout is multi-plat, Elder Scrolls multi-plat. Well, I have no reason to, really buy an Xbox until, because the whole thing is I'm not buying an Xbox until Halo comes out. Halo is the game I want to buy an Xbox for.
Depends on what Halo looks like.
Yeah, I would have bought an Xbox X Series X day one just for Halo, just because I'm just that much of a fan of Halo. It's like you had me at Halo. I don't think that them having what was it? Elder Scrolls, Fallout being exclusive. That would make me want to buy, a Xbox if it was only on that system. But if they come to PS5, yeah, I'm good. I'll just buy them on PS5. Like I said, my Xbox, if this is the only place I can play them, I'm definitely buying an Xbox. Because I'm a Bethesda fan as far as certain games they make. 2 games is enough for me to if you give me 2 franchises that I really like. I mean, I've played every Fallout and I love them. I played every Elder Scrolls game and I love these franchises. So if you can give me something I want to play, yeah, I'll buy it. I'm not gonna fault them where some people that are Xbox fans don't buy these games. They just don't buy these games. They're just happy that
that's
Microsoft.
The sad thing is that when Microsoft just keeps buying these, I don't know. Like, and this is the thing that really gets me in this whole thing is that yet again we're at the cusp of a console launch. Not yet again, but we're now, well, yeah, I guess with the X, like with the One X. But we're again at another console launch, and one company is showing games, and people are excited about these games and eager to play. And, they say, hey, enough for me. But the games do the talk, right?
It's like when Sony bought Insomniac. I was like, oh, that makes sense because Sony, for the most part, history
and
of
look what Insomniac's giving you 2 games at launch. A year later.
Most of Insomniac's games.
A year later. So they buy the studio a year ago in October.
I will buy it, yeah.
Right? They buy the studio a year ago in October, and now you're getting a launch game, a true next-gen PlayStation 5 until we know otherwise, with Ratchet & Clank and a cross-gen Spider-Man Miles Morales with a remaster of Spider-Man.
Who made Infamous? Was that Sucker Punch or Insomniac?
Sucker Punch.
Okay, see, I'm a Sucker Punch fan.
They made Ghost of Tsushima.
Okay, see, I'm a Sucker Punch fan. Insomniac, like Jack and Dexter.
They bought Insomniac a year ago, like in October of last year, and they coming out this year with 2 games. One's a cross-gen Spider-Man game and made for the PlayStation 5, a remaster, and a Ratchet & Clank.
Like, when people
that's crazy.
They go hard for something. Like, I've never been a huge Insomniac fan. So when Sony bought them, the only reason I thought it made sense is I was like, well,
they're the Spider-Man studio.
Well, no, because they work with Sony. When you look at their history working with game companies, Sony's the company they've worked with the most. So it made sense. It would be like,
well, like what Playground Games and with
it made sense. It made sense when you work with a company. So like, I would fully expect Sony to eventually buy Bluepoint.
Like,
why? Yeah. Because they primarily work with Sony. Like, for some reason, they fit well with that. I can't be mad at the Bethesda purchase. All I'll say is, like, if Microsoft decides to keep these games only on their console, okay, great. I don't have a problem with that. You gave me a reason to buy an Xbox this generation. But if it's one of those things where I'm just gonna buy, studios just to put them here so nobody else can get them and lock it behind them, we don't care about the quality. We just want you to buy games in GamePass. That's a little annoying. That could be a little annoying. That's not the best thing in the world.
No, that's not a future. Like, if they're gonna buy it for that sake, and because the thing is what concerns me is that last year Sony bought Insomniac. That's a celebration. Oh yeah, they did it. But look with that, we're already yielding the benefits of that this year. Microsoft bought all these studios.
I don't want it to be diminishing returns. That's what I should say.
Yeah, they bought all these studios for 2 years ago, and what have we seen? We've seen We've seen passion projects, and we've been seeing what? And we saw a bunch of games in July that look nowhere close to when they're going to be coming out. No. Avowed doesn't look like next year. The even Fable, they bought Playground Games. Where's that? Is that going to be next year? We don't know when the hell Halo's coming out. The thing is that it's still the waiting game. Now they buy Bethesda. The next 2 games from Bethesda are PlayStation exclusives. When's Starfield coming out? When's Elder Scrolls coming out? When's the next game from Bethesda Studios entirely coming out? When?
No, we're gonna wait. We're gonna wait some time.
Next year. The next year they're coming out with these games.
They're not ready.
Again, Microsoft bought studios, and people are just celebrating the number, but not looking at the years.
Right. It's like you're celebrating the purchase.
Oh, you're like 23 studios, but how many games do you have right now from the studios?
Jeff, you know what it is? It's like you're celebrating the purchase, but you're not looking at what they've done for you lately. It's like, what has Bethesda done for you lately?
Not even now, but even next year. What are all these studios? You got 23 people sitting down. Well, they're making games. When?
Yeah, what games?
And what games? And that's the other point. What games? So Bethesda, say like Avowed. Oh, that looked cool. What happens if they show Avowed and it's like, that's not what it looked like. Like, for example, Halo. Halo was supposed to be it. It was supposed to be the game. Then they showed it, and everybody's like, and it gets delayed. So the thing is that with Sony, and this is why they get this kind of, people think they get a pass, but the thing is that they
don't
showed a game. Wait, listen. They showed a game. They released the game. We played the game. It got great reviews. They win awards. All right? When you do that on a number of occasions, there's a certain respect and appreciation for what you do. Microsoft still has to get to that. They have a lot of work to do. They still got to get to the first point where they show a game that people want to play. True. Halo was a game that people were like, ugh, and they delayed it. The thing is that they still have to show Halo better. They need to release Halo. It needs to be celebrated and revered, warrant a sequel, and maybe win awards or win Game of the Years or win Best Graphics or something like that. And now you're looking at all these other studios. Avowed. The next time you show that game, that better be something I want to play. Everwild. They don't know what the gameplay is going to be. They showed 2 trailers already, and still people don't know what the hell the game is. That's not good.
Yeah, that's weird. That's weird.
We're sitting on 23 studios, and you have no clue. What's Stardust? The Starfield. What is that? Does it look good? Is it going to be like a janky Fallout 76? We don't know. There is so many question marks, and all you see of them stacking the deck, and all they're doing is stacking a bunch of 2s. You don't know what the hell they're going to come out with.
I'm going to be the first to tell you, Jazz, I love the competition as long as it's the right form. Not just not just being a bully. Sony's not. I won't say Sony's never been a bully. Sony's been calculated, and they've been fighting because guess what? They lost last generation in a way that even though people said they won, they lost the mind of a lot of consumers because it was like shit. Like you guys were on top with the PS2, the PS1. You came out with the PS3 and you kind of came out overpriced and underwhelming. And then the multiplayer didn't play as good, on your console. Mm-hmm. So I honestly say, I was more of an Xbox guy last generation. Yeah, I eventually became a PlayStation guy, but that's because of Red Ring of Death. So I just look at
the Xbox One when it launched. They had Rise and those games that launched. Then they had Titanfall waiting in the spring wings.
Oh yeah,
What do you have now? This is not even like they don't have anything in November. What's coming in January and February? What's going to be that March game? Is that going to be Is it going to be Halo? We don't know. The thing is look at Sony. They got Spider-Man. They got these games lined up.
We talked about
Ratchet
this.
Still, Horizon, and then God of War. They're saying for next year.
We talked about this E3 or 2 ago when we said Sony has shown, what they're bringing to the table, and they've always been
playing Last of Us and Ghost now.
We kind of know. Okay, here's what
you've been waiting for 3 years, right?
No, we haven't been waiting 3 years. I just don't understand. I mean, I think what Microsoft is doing is great.
They're stacking the deck.
I think
for this future that we have no clue what it's going to be. Is it going to be worth it? We don't know.
Well, I don't want a Game Pass future. I don't really want to.
I don't want it. I don't want them to turn the whole industry into goddamn Game Pass like a monopoly.
No,
I don't.
I'm cool.
And that's
with
where I'm fearing this whole we're just going to leave them alone. We're not going to do anything. Let them do what they want to do. But they're all coming into Game Pass day one. And it's like, oh, shit. So that's the end game. Because you got to wonder, why are they buying studios? And I said this last time. They're buying studios. Why? Because they need a RPG developer. They need somebody that does a Fallout. Like they need Fallout IP. They needed Doom because they have Halo. Why would you spend that much money in buying a publisher if the only thing that definitely today that Phil said, those games are coming into Game Pass day one. You basically turned it into Bethesda Pass. And if you buy Sega tomorrow, all you're going to say is all Sega games, whatever they are just going to be, where to come get them in Game Pass day one. And if that is the reason why they're buying these publishers and buying these studios, that's going to suck because that means that they're turning everything into the service and they're trying to monopolize all of gaming to turn it into just you buy Game Pass or bust. And all you're going to have is Sony sitting out there making their exclusives and hanging on while Microsoft just buys up everything to launch it in Game Pass. And then you got people celebrating this, going like, oh my God, I can't wait to play these games because guess what? You don't even have to buy these games.
Well, a lot of those people, they don't even play the Bethesda games.
Cheap-ass gaming. Why would you, and you don't even have to, I'll just get it when it comes in Game Pass. I'm not going to go buy any Bethesda games. I'll just wait for them to come in Game Pass. It is just my God, it's just so sad. It is sad. Modoc says it right in the chat. Mind of Murdoch says the same thing.
There are 3 guys that they're primarily Xbox guys that they really champion this on. And all three of those guys, I said, you guys don't even play. You
premium
guys don't even
hardware
play
to
Bethesda
go.
games.
Not even own, like, you buy premium hardware to basically sample games in a subscription service. I just don't.
I don't even call it this. You know what I call it? I call their service the maybe service. Like, maybe we'll get this game if it doesn't sell well. Maybe we'll get this game in Game Pass.
Well,
it's kind of one of those things. It's like,
it's a graveyard.
You ever seen? I've never seen a gaming generation of people who are champion games to not sell well so they can come to Game Pass.
Oh my God, it's horrible.
I've heard some people, which I don't want to mention names because I've mentioned some of the same names over and over. I'm like, when you champion a game not doing well just so it can go to Game Pass, that's sad. You really want that game to do bad? Yeah.
I don't know that stuff. And that's why we need to ensure that the traditional stuff like Sony and Nintendo, their games, keep showing those sales, because they will go this route if their games stop selling. And if they train the gamer to say, hey, don't go pay $60 to play games, $70 to play games. Just subscribe it. You don't own the game. We could take these games out of here whenever you want, and then you'll buy it, because then you'll have to double dip. So you'll subscribe and you'll pay $50 or so for the game if you really like it. Now you're looking at extorting the user to be like, okay, well, you're paying $15 for a sample service because some of these games rotate out. And if you really get into a game and we decide to remove it, well, now you could buy it at a discount, but you're paying $15 plus the $50 that you're going to buy. It's similar to like that Disney Plus thing where people were pissed. You're paying $10, $6 a month for Disney Plus, and then they put Mulan in there.
They put Mulan. You got
like $30.
Right.
Wait
that doesn't make any sense.
And then and then they say, oh, December comes out. So they tell you you're going to sit there and stare at that icon for the next 2 months, or if you pay us $30 a bust. And
well, it's not even any better what people are doing with the graphics cards and systems. The scalpers, they go on there and it's like, well, we don't really want them. We scalp them, and it's like, what's the point of doing that? There should be a way you should stop these people. Richard Review Tech. I don't know him personally, but he did a video, and I can't happen to watch it. And he called out one of these. I think it was an app or something you can do like a lot of scalping on. And he called him out, and they offered him. They were like, "Hey, we can find a way for you. We can get you a 3080 and one of some of your supporters 3080s." And he was like, "Why would they do that if you know what you were doing was wrong?" And I agree with them. They're wrong. They shouldn't do it. And it's like, I don't know, man. People are greedy, and greed really gets you nowhere. I just hope that the Bethesda purchase by Microsoft isn't just out of greed. It's because they truly want that Game Pass model to succeed, and they want their platform to succeed. Because, like I said, if those games don't come anywhere that I want to play, if they're the only place I can play them is on my Xbox, I'll buy an Xbox just to play them. You got it. Yeah. But if you're
that's the point. That's the power of exclusives, and that's what we want.
Right, and that's competition. What I want. But I don't want you to be like, I'm buying Sega, I'm buying Activision, I'm buying EA, I'm buying all these people. So guess what? You guys only have PlayStation Studios to work with. Ha. Like, I just don't want that. That's not.
I know.
Good,
yeah. Exactly. And that will turn into, like, if they come out and they announce like these Bethesda games are coming to PlayStation to $69.99, and it's like, haha, you got to pay. It's like shaming because you got to spend money. It's like, I got Game Pass. Ha ha ha. It's like, that's where the next gen battle is gonna be. It's gonna be like shaming people to pay games. The problem is,
if they're making good quality software,
exactly. If it's like a Sea of Thieves where they charge $60 for it and it's a half-ass game at launch, that's some robbery shit. So you don't give me Fallout 6 and it's a half-ass game because it's in Game Pass, but you're gonna make me charge $70. See, the thing is when Sony shows God of War, when Sony showed Horizon Zero Dawn, nobody's sitting there going like, oh, I don't know that game. That game was
the quality you're gonna get.
No, people are like, how much is that? I'll buy it. You know what I mean? Like, there's a reason why they're a special edition. Is because people think the value is worth it. If you show a game that people don't want to play, then they're not going to spend $70 on it. So this definitely hurts the middle of the road games and some indie games, which indie games jacked up in price. We used to get them at $10. Now they got $29.99 for some bullshit indie games.
Right, for indie games, yeah.
And and now a $50 game is going to be the new $40 game that you buy over the weekend. It's a $50 game now. It's going to be a hard pill to swallow. The thing is, your game, we're consumers. If your game doesn't look worth it, we're not going to pay it. And I do think that what Game Pass does do is that it gets rid of the fodder, because the fodder goes in there, because now you don't have to pay $50 and go, this game is just balls. You know what I mean? Now you can subscribe. But for the games that are worth it, just like what Gordon Ramsay says, you know, Gordon Ramsay, Jim Ryan says, and this is what he said today. Who knows what he says the next month? But he says, we're not going down the road of putting new releases in a subscription model. PlayStation top titles cost more than $100 million to develop. Putting them behind the subscription model would simply not be sustainable. We want to expand and grow our existing ecosystem, and putting new games into a subscription doesn't sit with that. See, and that's a key point that he says is expand and grow existing ecosystem by putting Horizon on PC, by putting these games on cross-generation, by putting these games exclusively on next generation, by expanding the PlayStation collection, by doing games in PlayStation Now. They're growing their existing ecosystem. They're not trying to replace it. See, what Microsoft did with Game Pass is they are flipping the script. They took the traditional route of their ecosystem of buying games and said, you don't need to buy games anymore. Now you just pay us, and we will supply you with the content. They're changing their ecosystem, and they're doing that for the benefit of the cloud and to put their games on more devices such as phones. And that's their plan. Now, if they got to buy a whole bunch of trash.
Let me ask you this question, Jez. Do you think that with them buying these studios, do you think what kind of budget do you think they give these studios? It's not unlimited, we know that, but what kind of budget do you think they ultimately give them?
Well, I think
realistically,
I think that
I think it depends on the title.
I think it depends on the title, but I do think that Microsoft is definitely I see. This is what I do think. I do think that when it comes to the design, because I think that Microsoft can't, and I think this is true actually when you see this Bethesda surface, this Bethesda deal. Microsoft, as a studio, like Booty and Friends, they don't know how to make a fucking game.
No, they don't.
They don't. They buy everything off the shelf and they try to make it their own. Minecraft, they did nothing for Minecraft to make it what it was. They bought it when it was that thing.
And they were smart because they were like, hey, we can just leave it everywhere.
You know, they bought Gears was developed by Epic Games, and they bought that from them. They helped develop it, but Microsoft really didn't do anything really homegrown, except for really Forza. Forza was really homegrown from them. Everything else they kind of bought from somebody else. And you know, and the thing is, yes, Mind of Murdoch says if Game Pass goes down, then everyone stops playing. Yeah, that too. Or you stop paying your subscription, everybody stops playing. But like the thing is like I'm convinced that Microsoft has trouble with management and making games that people want to play. You see Sony and they have Ghost of Tsushima come out of the blue. Somebody asking for a samurai game, a hit game like that. Sony had that vision to make that game possible. You know what I mean? And it's like, and you sit here and now you're like, whoa, it makes perfect sense. But guess what? It takes somebody with a vision and with a way to curate and to make a game to come up with that. Let's flip God of War on its head. Did they say that with Halo? Halo looks like Halo. God of War changed the game. They redid that game. Did they do that with Gears? No. Gears was just the same as Gears 3, 2, and 5. Like,
right. See, I heard you say that, and I totally agree. Like, Gears has been Gears. It's not really...
They other than change it.
Evolved. It's just being more Gears.
It takes an eye and it takes a vision to do that stuff. And Sony has that. I don't know if it's from their movie studios, but you see it in their games that they're willing to spend the money and get the games that people want to play and to market them appropriately that people are eager to play them. They don't just stealth release it at midnight saying, well, here's Ghost of Tsushima. Hope you like it. It launches tonight. And it's like, well, where's the marketing for it? No, they make sure that they hone that in. Same thing with Days Gone.
Jazz, since we've seen Ori, both Oris come on Switch, do you think now that it comes to PS5 or PS4 possibly?
I'm sure. It's like Cuphead. Just like Cuphead is. I'm sure it will. Microsoft wants subscriptions and they want quantity. This is where this comes. That's why they're sitting with 23 studios right now. It's all about quantity. Meanwhile, Sony sits at 13
they have more
and pumps out.
Sony, right?
Exactly.
So, I mean,
tell me next year with 23 studios, what are the games coming out from those studios next year? And what the games coming out from Sony? Sony got Horizon, God of War, and they have, from on paper, Horizon, God of War, Deathloop, Gran Turismo. Like, the list goes on and on. Microsoft, Halo. Right?
No, the big rumor
we got
is
23 goddamn studios. We got Halo. We got one game.
Big rumor is,
Ratchet.
and I know you've heard this rumor.
The list goes on. I stopped. Guapzilla.
The big
Sony
rumor is
more.
that Sony has exclusive Grand Theft Auto. That's been a rumor going on for a while. I don't know how true that is. I don't see. Grand Theft Auto is a big franchise. If that's exclusive, I can see that only being like a year exclusive.
It's just fun. And then this Metal Gear Solid thing is true. But the thing is like, you cannot now say that Microsoft has, they got games. No, they don't. They got studios. That's what they got. They got studios. They don't have the games yet. That's the thing. Like, if you're sitting there with 23 studios, I don't want to be sitting here next year at this time with my PC and maybe getting an Xbox and going like, oh, well, Halo's now going to release this holiday, and they put all their eggs in Halo again. And it's like, well, what are the other 22 studios doing? Oh, it takes time. It takes time. Meanwhile, Sony's going to have 5-6 games possibly coming out already in the 2 that we already played this year. And the thing, the thing is like, you can't keep making the excuse now with 23 studios. You cannot be sitting here going like, well, we wait for the games. When you have been already waiting for 4 years.
And your opinion.
Yo, what's up, Gaming Persona? What's up?
If these games don't come anywhere other than Xbox, as far as consoles, not PC, but that's what they only Elder Scrolls come on the Xbox, Fallout only comes to Xbox, Doom only. If every franchise they had, would you buy an Xbox? Would you be more interested in playing more PC or an Xbox? Or you just say, okay, it is what it is. It's good competition.
It's the games, Frog. The thing is, like, it's gotta.
If they're good,
they're not even good at marketing games that like they stealth release bullshit like Battletoads. They even have the nerve to send out care kits for Battletoads, but meanwhile they didn't market the game worth of shit. And then they go like Bleeding Edge. Like, these games are so forgettable. The thing is
true.
Like, what do we like? They don't even market their games. We heard about Sea of Thieves. They weren't confident in the game. They weren't confident. Then after the beta, they're like, oh yeah, well maybe we should we should promote this game a little bit. The thing is that they're not confident in their output. The same thing with like, you have Obsidian, who's known for making amazing single player stories with Fallout 70, with the new Fallout New Vegas and stuff like that. They come out with this passion project, and they come out without a single player campaign and put it in the goddamn preview program.
That game was horrible.
You tell me how to make. You help us develop the single player story. Are you fucking kidding me?
No, that's not how it's designed. That's how you design a game.
And let's see Bethesda's next game, and Microsoft's like, Fallout 5, you know what? We're going to ship it now, but you're going to tell us how you want Fallout to play out, and you help us build the story. Holy shit, they pulled some shit like that.
Oh, that would irritate me.
Yes, Reese, I did. That was the first thing I talked about. People were ordering the wrong Xbox. Let me show that one. Did you see that, Frog?
Yep. People are confused about that name. I've said it was going to happen.
Frog,
I said it was going to happen.
Fearmonger is? I think the word was fear. Like, people are smart. The grandmas are smart. Like,
no, they don't understand.
They don't understand. Look at this. Ready? So I'm going to show this here. So basically, the Xbox One X sales are up 747%.
People didn't understand what they were buying.
The One X.
And people really expect me to believe that. Oh yeah, they understood they weren't.
Where's that dude? This one's hilarious.
Understand? Like, come on now.
Here it is. This guy, man. This guy. I feel bad for Marcus Bell. If he's out there, shout out to Marcus Bell. Hopefully
be surprised if the S starts to sell too.
Yo, he goes like this. Wrong. He goes, new Xbox secured. If you ain't secure your pre-order for the new console, you down bad and your pocket's empty. Go to work some OT or sell plasma with your broke ass. And then his screenshot says you ordered an Xbox One S white terabyte for $299.
They don't, dude. I'm telling you, they don't understand. I knew there was going to be confusion. Look, every major site that I've seen, the IGNs, the Kind of Funny Games, the Digital Foundries, anybody who talks about GameSpot, everybody's saying the same thing. This name is horrible. It's confusing.
It is.
And for people to think that it's just going to be super easy, you got two systems that are X's and S's, and the only difference between them is an Xbox One S, Series Xbox Series S. They still are Xbox at the beginning, and they're X's and S's at the end.
Well, do you see even on their own console, they say they have a picture of the Series X and they go Xbox One consoles on the goddamn console itself.
Yes. It's very, I'm going to tell you, man, it's very confusing.
It is.
I think that they should have named it something completely different. It is how it is.
It is. And when people are like, oh, people are smart and stuff like that. No, I worked in retail. This is confusing as hell. And the thing is
it is confusing for people.
Even the box is going to confuse the shit out of people because they have this little logo that says it plays next gen. And it's going to give the impression that Xbox has no games because they don't have a new box for next generation. So when you go to a store and you see PlayStation 5 with the white header and you got PlayStation 4 sitting there, it's going to look like PlayStation 5 has tons more games. And then you just got Xbox boxes there and you got little tramp stamps on the front that say Xbox Series X and S. Like, it looks like Xbox just has a bunch of old games. Like, it doesn't look like there's a new generation. And and that's why, Lion Ryan, or whatever they call him, Jim Ryan, Gordon Ramsay, I like calling him. The thing is that we believe in generations goes deeper than just like a couple of games being cross-gen. Because I've seen people slip up and go like, well, Sony's putting their games on cross-gen. No, some of their games on
some of their games, right.
All right?
Not
but
all
you
of them.
also got to look at it from a whole perspective.
Like
the controller,
Quantum Error,
the console design, the boxes is a generational definition that it means we're starting something new. Right. It goes deeper than just a couple of cross-gen games. That is some shiesty shit. But
Quantum Error is coming to Xbox now. But Quantum Error,
the share button does. Do you see what that share button does?
I don't even know what it does.
They did a whole video of it. You click it once, it takes a picture. You hold it, it takes a video. Next.
That's it.
That's it. That's it.
I mean, isn't that what PlayStation does now, kind of?
Welcome to 2013. Thank you, Next Gen Xbox.
I don't
know. 12 teraflops.
I mean, wait, can you stream to YouTube now?
What? No, they didn't say anything about YouTube. Yeah, I'll show you the amazing video. Where is it?
Wow.
Xbox share button. What is it? Xbox share button video. There it is. The details of this. Is this it? No, where's the video? I want the video of it. I don't want no goddamn article. There's nothing to read about it. Here it is.
Nothing at all. Yeah.
Here's the video. Get ready, grinders. Hold on to your seats. The new share button. It's the same dash, Twitter and everything. You're not gonna be able to stream to YouTube. Here it goes. Press.
Wait, don't tell me that's the same UI. Please don't tell me that's the same UI.
Yeah, same UI. Flip. Share to Twitter. Share.
Out of here.
Put it on
I really don't. Microsoft's UI now is okay.
And there we go.
Out of here. Wow.
I don't need that trash ass music. Share it to Facebook. Because your friend is. Yeah, and that's it. Put it on your phone. Big share button. Sharing is faster and easier than before. Yep. Thank you, Xbox. Where'd it go? Hold on.
I don't know what to say, man, other than damn. Like, wow.
Yeah, damn. That's all it does. Press it for a screenshot, hold it for a video, and it has the same UI. You pop up. There's no like stream to YouTube. No even and with the app. So then you got to use the Xbox app on your phone to share it out with it syncs to your app. And that's new. It goes with the
Who really wants to do that though? I don't know, man.
Dude, like that's it. No, like you actually with the share button, Frog, on the PlayStation, you could broadcast your gameplay and you could do broadcast with it. So like if you hold it, it says broadcast gameplay to Twitch or to YouTube. If you double click it, it does a video clip. It does if you press it, it does a photo.
Oh, so you can't send it to YouTube?
No, you can't.
No
when
way.
you click on the share button, I'm gonna go right back to it. Where it is? Here is it, right here. When you hit that glorious share button,
I thought you were gonna say
it pops up. It says share to it says share to activity feed, which they got that trash.
Share to Phil
Message,
Spencer.
Twitter, or see all sharing options. Upload, trim, or delete. show all captures. It's a side screen, the same dashboard. And then they want you to use your phone because,
We're really focusing first on what it means to play these games on
Jennifer
your phone.
Spencer's glory hole. I don't understand.
I'm trying to use the phone.
This is, so take pictures of your old games to share. I don't know. I don't know, like, you know what I mean? Everybody's like, this is a W. A W
I don't know how that's
for
a
when?
win.
Tell me it's a W for 3 years from now. I don't know. But, like, there's still nothing. This doesn't solve anything in the next year.
No, it doesn't.
So I don't understand. Yeah, shit. Oh, my God. Yo, Mod, I don't even want to get into it, but there's some crazy tweets from some crazy Xbox folk. Now, there's crazy on both sides, but these are some crazy Xbox dudes saying that nobody's welcome back. If you left Xbox, you're not welcome back because they tell you that you're welcome back or not. That's some bullshit.
A lot of the Xbox guys are Xbox guys this generation. They just became Xbox guys. Look, Kiss Move.
Well,
Kiss Move, as much as I think Kiss Move's a cool dude, he's really just an Xbox guy this generation. He didn't own the original Xbox. He just, like, the 360 was his generation to be an Xbox guy, and a lot of stuff he didn't. He's just playing King Kong. I mean, you really gonna trust a guy who's just playing King Kong? I mean, come on now. Like,
King Kong, man. King Kong.
Hey, I just played King Kong because, I'm like, this was a launch game that I had. I had every launch
I had
game.
that. And I got that with the DVD. I had the HD DVD player with that thing.
Yes!
With the movie.
Every launch game. I'm like, dude, you were supposed to be the X-bot, the best bot, and you didn't even own an original Xbox.
No, he doesn't like Bethesda games either, but he's just Icon.
But now you're happy? I don't understand.
But the point I was making is some of those guys, and it wasn't him.
I said I didn't want the smoke. Screw it.
It wasn't some of these guys. But I'm saying, like, some of these guys, not him though, but there were some other people. But the point is that in their Twitter handle, they still have their Mixer address. Like,
let me tell you something.
Follow me at Mixer.
They
still letting it live on.
Man, they're the biggest frauds, dude. They're
Let
some
it
of the
live
biggest
on
frauds.
Mixer.
And I want the smoke because he's a fraud. He's a fraud. King David's a fraud. Like, all these
Oh
guys
shit!
are
It goes
frauds.
wrong with the names. There we go.
I don't even care anymore because you know what? I'm just I get sick and tired of hearing these guys talk about how much of a fan they are for a plastic piece of machine. And it's like, if you, like, come on, man, like, you really were, you're not about that game in life. Like, you don't even play most of the games.
Dude, I don't know where
You're waiting for it to come to a service. If you were really about that life, you would buy the games whether they're in a service or not. Because when PlayStation has a game and I'm like, ooh, something that I don't see anywhere else, I buy the game. I don't wait for it to come to a service. But guess what? The King Davids and the freaking the Kids Moves and all these other guys, man, I don't even want to. Oh man, they just
don't
make
even
me
go
sick.
into the names. It is.
They make me sick to the stomach, dude. It made me sick to the stomach because I'm like, you're not real gamers. Like, I prefer PlayStation's generation. Last gen, it happened to be Xbox.
But you're right, like you've been saying though. Like if Xbox had games, or like if they said, "Hey, the next Fallout's only on Xbox and you got to play it here," you would do it. Like regardless of Game Pass or no Game Pass. Like if the game was only on Xbox and you want to play it, you're gonna go buy a console and play it.
I'm not that much of an idiot to say, "Oh, I'm not playing." I'm not buying an Xbox. No, I'm gonna buy an Xbox. Why?
Yeah.
Because it's a good game, and I like games like Bethesda. I like some of their games. I love Fallout. I love Elder Scrolls. Why would I be a dumbass? And it's not even about a console thing to me. The whole thing, what it's really about is like, I love PlayStation's generation. They've made some phenomenal games this generation, and there's no denying that. But anybody who acts like they haven't, you're an idiot. You're an idiot. Like,
well, you know what I'm gonna say. Like, I did feel like when I really was I had the Xbox, and I was just like, I was only Xbox, and PlayStation had some games and stuff, and I kind of denied myself for those games because I'm like, Xbox has the games, and my friends are playing on here, and this is where it's gonna be. It wasn't until I got a Switch earlier in the year, and then I had a PC a year before that, where I started exploring games outside of that Xbox bubble, and I was like, I'm missing out on a lot of stuff by waiting for Xbox to bring me some games. There are a lot of good games out there, and and I think the Switch was one of the things while I'm playing this. I'm like, you know what? Like, this Zelda, this is pretty incredible. Like, this is awesome. Like, I started exploring other platforms.
I'm gonna be honest with you.
I got the PlayStation 1, and I couldn't look back. I played those PlayStation games, and I'm like, I'll be waiting a lifetime for this to show up on that.
I used to be a bland you kids move. I used to be that guy.
That's what I was. I was denying myself.
Didn't do anything wrong.
Xbox was going to deliver like it did with the 360.
Look, let me tell you something. When the GameCube came out, I bought it day one.
Yeah, I bought GameCube day one.
I'll never forget it. You know, I denied myself.
I waited overnight for that one. Yep.
PlayStation 2 for so long, and then I started playing Grand Theft Auto, and I was like, "Holy crap, this game is fun!" And I was like, "Why am I denying myself?" You know, games that are good.
Because your mentality is like, I chose my platform. They're gonna give me the stuff, and they're gonna give me the game.
Well,
and 360 did that. 360 hit every bullet.
I grew up I was a Nintendo kid, so I felt like there was loyalty. You know, I felt like
we used to argue. It was me was Nintendo, my friend was TurboGrafx, and my other friend was Sega, and we used to argue at lunchtime.
I had a TurboGrafx 16, yes. But my whole thing is like, as I got older, I started realizing like, wow, there's a lot of different games I want to play in different places. I loved Halo. You know, I was never the biggest Gears fan, but Halo was my game, you know.
It was Xbox Live for me.
You know, the Xbox Live did it, but games like Jedi Knight, Old Republic, Empire, those type of games are on an Xbox.
Yes.
So I was like, yeah, I had to own an Xbox.
They were huge.
And guess what? If Microsoft had these type of games, I would own the Xbox. I want to be the consumer that has, you know, I'm not every consumer, right? But I want to be the consumer that's like, hey, guess what? I own this console and this console, and I got this game. It's so good on here. This game is so good on here. You know, I want to
DOA
be that
Beach
guy.
Volleyball. That was good. They had all the Dead or Alive stuff exclusive on Xbox.
Dead or Alive was when I played. Let me tell you, the first time I played Dead or Alive, a Dead or Alive game was on my PlayStation 4 because I associated Dead or Alive with Xbox.
Oh,
I associated Ninja Gaiden with Xbox.
Yep.
You know,
Same here, yeah.
There were certain games. You know, like if you told me a Tekken game,
All
I'm
those
like,
Tecmo
oh, that's a
games.
PlayStation.
Yeah, that
You know,
guy was a rock star on Xbox.
Like a Tekken game, I'm like, oh, that's a PlayStation game. To this day, I don't play Tekken on Xbox. Do I own them? Yeah, because they gave them to me for free, but I don't associate Tekken with Xbox. You know, I don't associate Final Fantasy with Xbox. There's certain games. That's why I like Bethesda games. I kind of associate Fallout.
Well,
and
Morrowind and all that. So Morrowind was the first
that
on
with
Xbox.
So that's why it's not.
And
a big
Oblivion.
deal.
Remember, Oblivion was Xbox exclusive.
Oh my god!
I remember that's when I had my Red Ring of Death when Oblivion came out.
It's such a good game, and my whole thing is like.
And that was during the year that the PlayStation wasn't out yet. Xbox had the exclusive. They had that. They had Fight Night.
A lot of people don't realize this. It wasn't until the 360 that a lot of the PlayStation second party games, or i.e. third party games,
even Final Fantasy 11. That was a huge news when it came day and date to Xbox. GTA 4 day and date on Xbox 360. Those were big deals because Sony always got the timed exclusivity for those games. Or never came to Xbox. Final Fantasy never. Like only the
people remember from that PS2 generation how long Grand Theft Auto 3 and Vice City was on PlayStation.
Yes.
Finally came. Remember when EA
didn't have their own online. I used to play
PlayStation 2, but it wasn't for Xbox.
Yep.
And then I'll never forget when they said, "Listen up, X-heads, the wait is over. EA's online is coming to Xbox," and I was like, "Yes, finally!"
Yes, because I was playing a lot of the 2K games because they had online.
Right,
to 2K.
Exactly.
But you're right. 2K. The thing is that they work so hard to justify getting the day and date stuff that it's so weird that we're at here in 2020 and now they lost Final Fantasy 16. It's like how the mighty have fallen. I remember the Final Fantasy 11 being announced as one more thing. People lost their shit because Final Fantasy was coming day and date to Xbox. It wasn't even an exclusive. It just was coming to Xbox the same day as PlayStation, and that was a huge announcement.
And that was a huge deal because
and now Final Fantasy 16 exclusive to PlayStation. Final Fantasy 7 remake exclusive.
Game. You know, when I look at Final Fantasy, there's certain games like
I originally played Final Fantasy on Nintendo, Super Nintendo.
Certain games,
Final Fantasy 3.
I don't know if you're like this, but I'm like this. When I look at certain games, I kind of associate them with a system they kind of started with. Like a Metal Gear, I'm like, that's a PlayStation franchise.
Devil May Cry.
Even though I know
that's PlayStation.
Even though I know they're multiplats, I'm like, Resident Evil, PlayStation. Like, there's certain games that I'm like, yeah, that kind of belongs
what about Resident Evil, though, when GameCube had the exclusive? Resident Evil 0.
That
was
blew my
big.
mind because I always associate with PlayStation. And guess what? I was like,
I bought a GameCube for Resident Evil. I was like, Resident Evil 0.
when they came out, it was the Capcom 6. Capcom had 6 games that were only going to be on
and
game.
remember, Frog, the other game. What was it? The Starfighter game made by and the Star Wars game was on.
Rogue Squadron.
Rogue Squadron.
Rogue. I think it was Rogue something. Rogue. Yeah,
that was
awesome. It was made by Factor 5.
Factor 5
made it for GameCube.
That's right.
I mean, back in the day, it was kind of like you would get things, and I think that the competition was well sorted. You know, it was divided until the Xbox 360, came out. I think Xbox 360 did change the game with online.
Well, the online, that's
and
what got me.
I think Xbox 360 really showed Japanese developers like we need to put our games here for the American consumers. They had
those big Japanese games, you know. They came out with it. See, the thing is that they were taking those risks, but they were, with Blue Dragon and Lost Odyssey and
great game.
They like the thing, and they had a vision. Like even with Xbox Arcade and Summer of Arcade,
great
online retro games, and adding your avatar to an online arcade and one versus 100. And
you know what, Jez? When you talk about the Xbox of yesteryear,
people,
right? When we talk about the 360, all the things they did good, and you talk about them bad now, people think you don't like. It's not the fact that you don't. I don't like the Xbox.
Frog, they changed. I don't know where their vision came from, and they just put all their eggs in a GamePass basket. That's what they did.
Xbox of today, I don't like. This generation's Xbox, I don't like. Last generation, Xbox and Sony were neck and neck, and I love both of them. I love going back and forth.
The Netflix party, even if it wasn't the games, like Netflix party watching. They had all these remember seeing it? I had that where you had all the button presses where you had to do like a strategy. They had karaoke games.
One versus 100.
One versus 100 was freaking awesome.
Yes.
Winning game bucks.
Yes, they had a lot of good ideas.
Xbox points.
And don't get me wrong. There's some things I think that Sony's PlayStation could benefit from, like the whole gifting games. I hope that comes to PlayStation. I really think that gifting games is cool. Like,
and they did have the paid online where Sony had free. Yeah.
If my sister, my niece, my nephew, whoever wants to get a game, and they're like, I want this game, but I can't afford it. Well, I'll just get it for you now. Let me gift it to you. Or my nephew's like birthdays come up, my niece's birthday come up. I'll just buy you whatever game. I think that they could learn that. I think that's good.
It changed, Frog. They changed. And even even the original Xbox One, I was still on board because they had some of the features. Some of that vision was there, and I was willing to see through that stuff because I know they evolved their dashboard over time, like they did with the 360.
Dude,
and they were good until 2015, until they started studios down, and they never recouped that whole fallout of getting rid of Scalebound, getting after that Halo 5 launch. Getting rid of Scalebound, shuttering, Fable.
Updated their dashboard.
They never recouped from that. We're still seeing the problems of that whole fallout in 2016, 2015.
Oh, yeah. And that's why I say, I'm not mad that they own Bethesda. I think, oh, crap, that's such a... It's shocking.
That's a bit, even coming out of your mouth, like you saying that stuff, it's still, surreal. What?
But what I will say is, I'm a huge Bethesda fan, so it doesn't bother me. But there are a lot of people, and I guess my biggest thing that I don't like is you got a lot of people who own Xbox and they're Xbox fans, and they don't like Bethesda. And I'm like, why are you capping for the purchase of a something you don't even like? Like when Sony bought Insomniac, I was like, that's cool. I'm not the biggest Insomniac fan as far as Ratchet and Clank. I like Resistance. I believe they made that. I think that was cool. But I'm not gonna sit here and act like, oh man, I'm the biggest freaking Insomniac fan. When they bought him, I was like, oh, that's cool. But I never looked at it like, oh man, I got a cap for him because Sony owns them and I play mostly PlayStation. I'm like, that's cool to me. But, I can honestly Sony, most of the games I played weren't Insomniac. I'm not a Ratchet and Clank fan. I'm a Jack and Dexter guy. So that's a bigger deal to me. Jack and Dexter, Sly Cooper. I know Jack would love that because Sly Cooper, I'm a huge Sly Cooper fan.
Yo, do you see this whole, speaking about Bethesda, they have this this Orion streaming service that they were trying to do.
Right.
ZeniMax and stuff like that. And I see Windows Central trying to hype that they also got this Orion ZeniMax. You want to know what else? They also have the streaming tech from Beam that they got rid of with Mixer. Microsoft is sitting on all this bullshit and they're just going to squash it because they got their
on a lot of stuff, man. Hopefully
and that's the other thing that I said. They're sitting on so much IP already. They just got a bunch of IP right now. like they have so much stuff that they don't even using, and it's just so like it's like they got too much now, and it's like the excuse of like hype, and this again, I said it's all just kind of distractions. Like we really need to see the fruits of all this bullshit because it really hasn't really yet to mount to it. But with that, I don't know if you had the last points. I'm gonna wrap this up with the likes, guys. Hit those like button. Over 50 watching. Thank you. But yeah, we've been going 3 hours strong. Frog, thank you for jumping on.
Only thing I can give the people who are consumers this holiday is if you're gonna buy a PS5 or a Series X, and you see that they had, you already own one of these previous consoles, look for those deals where if you buy it on your PS4, your Xbox One, you can get the X or the PS5 version of it. Because I think that's the best deal. Don't go buy the next gen version of it for $69 when you can just buy the PS4 or Series X version. I'm sorry, the Xbox One version where it's the same game. You just get you get it twice. I think that you just got to be cognizant of that. And the other thing I'll say is be careful. Don't buy from people on eBay.
Yeah, don't buy eBay. Don't buy receipts.
I honestly do think there will be enough consoles come close to launch day and throughout the year. I do think there will be. I think that not everybody's going to be able to afford these consoles. And I think that, the X and the S and the PS4 will still be selling. So don't worry about it. I think if you want to get a console, you'll be able to get them. I do think for PlayStation, you're going to easily be able to get a $499 console. I think the digital ones are going to be hard to find. I do think that. I think that retailers do not want to sell that digital console. And that's the one I want to buy. Not because it's cheaper. It's just because I'm digital. I don't buy any physical games. The only time I buy physical games is when it's a collector's item. Other than that, I'm digital. And
that's good. Well, yeah, good luck to everybody trying to get them things. I say, you know what? I think more will come out there. Keep your trigger finger ready. And, these sites will get their allocations because I can't think that 8 goddamn consoles per GameStop, 8 to 10 or 12 or something on.
That's all they're going to have.
That's all they're going to have until launch. Like, get the hell out of here. But, who the hell knows? But, it's been great. I want to thank you again, Frog. Where can they find you? Let them know.
Hey, you guys can find me, Frog's Dream, Frog's Dope Gaming. Man, I'm excited about next gen. I'm looking forward to next gen. I'm excited about a lot of things that have come out and, that we don't know. And I think there's still more things to come. But, man, here is to great gaming and competition. I love competition. I want to see competition.
Yes.
I don't want to see monopoly. No. I don't want to see it. I don't want to see. We don't want what EA is doing with the NFL, where they take we don't want that because that's not good.
That's not
good. That's not a good thing. We don't want that. You want competition.
I'll fix it, Rozzy. I'll fix it.
Yeah, but that's basically all I have to say is competition is great. If this is going to make Sony do better and push them harder, great. Because then I win as a gamer because now I get to enjoy both consoles and games on both consoles and have a reason to own both and have a conversation about both instead of being really in a sense it's like drawn to one place to play, and that's the only place I want to play.
Yeah.
This generation.
And now they're supposedly saying Nintendo Switch Pro and Zelda next year. Woo!
I'm looking forward to all that great stuff. I mean, if you're gonna do that, great. I'm excited about it. Give it to me.
Let's go. But anyway, guys, I want to say thank you again. We've been going strong, burning the grinding oil at night. I thank you, Frogs, for coming on. I definitely
no problem,
you had some gears to grind because
definitely.
These pre-orders have been a pain in the ass for the last 2 weeks. Been a stressful time for many.
Yeah, these pre-orders are horrible.
Look out. I'll be looking out, seeing if there's any deals. I'll let you know if I see those.
Definitely.
But thank you, Grinders. Mod, I will fix the chat box. I keep making it bigger, but I realized the text is what I got to make bigger, so I got to fix that and restream. So I will do that. But I've just been just going live, and I keep trying to change the text box. But I gotta make the things bigger. But thank you again, guys. Hit that like button. Share out the video. Grinders, thank you again for another amazing night. We hit over quadruple A status, banger status we got tonight. So thank you to the initiative and the 44 employees working over there. And with that, we are out.